Matt Morris, who missed the first 3 months of the season with a strained right shoulder, has come off the disabled list to pitch very, very well. Let's take a look at the lineup that he'll face for the New York Mets in tonight's opener of this 3-game set. Tony Phillips, right field, leading off with Edgardo Alfonzo at second, and John Olerud looking to get into the Mets record books with that 23-game hitting streak, one off the club mark at first, followed by Piazza, Huntley, McRae, and then by Erga, Ordonez, and Leiter for the New York Mets. And so Matt Morris, 6 feet 5 inches tall, 210 pounds, out of Seton Hall University, turned 24 years of age yesterday. His first outing in almost a week. Pitched a complete game 4 hitter at Milwaukee on Tuesday, beating them 2-1, and he threw a lot of pitches. His first one tonight is wrapped right down to the first baseman, Mark McGwire, and Tony Phillips is retired, 1 man away. In that game against Milwaukee, Matt Morris threw 131 pitches.
Well, he's thrown 1 so far in tonight's ball game, and we're on a pace now to set the fastest game in the history of the game. 51 minutes was the fastest game ever played.
Morris will now go after Edgardo Alfonzo. Fonzie's bat starting to come alive on this road trip. He had 5 hits in Denver and 13 times up. I guess Greg Maddux is about the only guy you can count on to get you done in 2 hours and 15 minutes. Alfonso hits it pretty well to right field. Jordan towards the line, but that's a fair ball, and it hops into the crowd. Alfonso has a ground rule double. So with 1 out, the Mets get a man in scoring position.
Alfonso showing signs of getting out of that prolonged batting slump he has been in. And the defense for the Cardinals, Ron Gant in left field, Ray Langford in center, Brian Jordan in right field, Fernando Tatis at third base, Luis Ortiz at shortstop, Pat Kelly at second, Mark McGwire at first base, and Tom Bagdazzi the catcher.
So Alfonso in scoring position for Olerud, who takes the first pitch inside, and here's what John Olerud stands to do. With a base hit tonight, he would tie Hubie Brooks for the longest hitting streak in Mets history. Hubie hit in 24 in a row back in 1984. Fouled away, a ball and a strike. John Olerud has a 26-game hitting streak in his career. That came in 1993 with the Toronto Blue Jays. That was the year that John hit .363 and won the American League batting title. Alfonso leads away, and the pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike now on Olerud.
Howie, only one player has won the National League and American League batting titles, Ed Delahanty, and he did it back in the National League in 1899 and in the American League hitting .376 in 1902.
When he did it in 1899, there was no American League at that time. I guess they consider the modern era from, depends on who you talk to, either 1900 and beyond or 1903 or 1901 when the American League came into existence.
Delahanty, one of 5 brothers who played in the major leagues.
That's a strike, and so the count now full to Olerud.
And he died a very strange death. He was on a train that got put off at Niagara Falls. The next time I saw him, he was dead at the bottom of the falls.
Didn't know they had to stop at Niagara Falls in those days.
They stopped the train to throw him off the train, and it was said that he was drinking at the time.
So Morris issues a 1-out walk to John Olerud, and the Mets have 2 on with 1 man out, and Mike Piazza coming up. Tony La Russa's current claim to fame, his idea to bat the pitcher 8th. Talk more about that when the Cardinals are at bat in the last of this inning, but right now it's Piazza in the cleanup spot. They shade him towards right. And the first pitch, a fastball away. Piazza has 4 hits and 6 trips against Morris. You see the outfield just a step or 2 the other way, where Piazza has outstanding power.
Lost a 2-run home run to right field in the game of Colorado.
Yeah, he almost had another one yesterday, but Larry Walker went over the wall to take one back. That's pretty much equal distribution on the part of Piazza. Fastball upstairs, and so Morris now behind 3-0. Basically, he's a fastball curveball pitcher. And with those 3 months on the disabled list, the Cardinals were concerned about his rhythm and how quickly he'd be able to find the success that he had last year. Of course, Piazza handled him well in those limited times against him last season, but Morris was terrific, finishing 3rd in the National League's Rookie of the Year voting. Fastball for a strike there, 3-1. Morris, Donovan Osborne, who just came back, and Alan Bennis, who's still on the DL, all out with injuries for good chunks of this season. One of the reasons, really the main reason, the Cardinals have struggled. Lately, though, they're hot, having won 5 straight. And a breaking ball, 3-1. He hits the outside corner. Good pitch by Morris, and now it's full to Piazza. So what do you do with the runners here? 3-2, 1 out. Piazza's had some trouble delivering as a New York Met in this department. Alfonso at second, Olerud at first. They're off to the races, and the pitch hit deep to left center, and that's going to go to the wall. 1 run has scored as Alfonso crosses the plate. Here comes Olerud. No throw to the plate on Olerud. Piazza has a stand-up double. The Mets are leading by a score of 2-0. So as terrific as Morris was his last time out against Milwaukee, he's having first-inning problems. The Mets have reached him for a pair.
And Piazza coming through with a big base hit for 2 RBIs, hitting .272 before the double with runners in scoring position. Those averages will go up.
And Todd Hundley, his average actually went down in Denver, if you can believe that. The way Todd has hit over his career at Coors Field, you figure that the good game against the Giants on Thursday would spill over to the weekend, but it didn't happen. Here he's behind in the count, 0-2. Didn't it seem over the weekend that the entire trip to Denver he was behind in the count, 2 strikes? So Todd in what's become a relatively familiar position.
And he had the best success in his career against the Colorado Rockies up to that last series.
Morris deals 0-2 to Hundley, and that rides high. Tom Pagnozzi, the catcher, reaching up for it. For some reason, the Cardinals were very late in announcing who their catcher would be. They left one spot in the lineup open after the starting lineup had been distributed. It was either going to be Eli Marrero or Tom Pagnozzi, and they decided to go with Pagnozzi. 1-2 to Hundley, tap foul. Todd looked as though he was ready to really blossom after having 3 hits in the game against the Giants on Thursday. It didn't happen for him over the weekend. Bobby Valentine's not too concerned. Just wants to keep rolling him out there. That's hit hard and just foul. So on 1-2, Hundley drives it foul. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hundley here does this so many times. He gets out in front and pulls the ball hard, foul.
And again, Hundley down on strikes. For the 9th time in the last 3 games, plus this at bat, that Todd Hundley has been struck out. 2 men away. Brian McRae coming up. Why would you figure out that he'd be out in front so often at this point? Is it still a matter of getting comfortable?
I think more than anything, it's his style of hitting. He has had that all his career in the major leagues.
Brian McRae out in front of the off-speed pitch, 0-1.
And it could be the fact that he's got to be over anxious.
McRae 0 for 7 against Matt Morris. Fouls it away. It's 0-2. Mets with 2 in here in the first inning. Cubs and Giants going to play each other tonight, so one of those teams are going to slip back while the other one wins. Hundley continues to look for a comfort zone. Piazza leads, and Morris misses. McGwire's been hot for weeks, hitting at .333 over his last 19 games. And the 1-2 pitch, off speed and high. So Morris really laboring here in the first inning. In fact, Tony La Russa said the reason that he allowed Morris to go the 131 pitches in Milwaukee is because he felt he might have shortchanged him his start before that. He said maybe I took him out too soon after he'd thrown 92 pitches in his previous outing. Cardinals had an off day on Thursday, so he's had an extra day's rest. And a line drive on one hop fielded by Kelly, side retired. So Piazza gets the Mets on the board early as he doubles in two. One of two hits for the Mets. They leave one, middle of the first at Busch Stadium. The Mets 2 and the Cardinals coming up. This year for New York, he's won 10 and lost 4. He's taken 3 straight no decisions. Let's take a look at the Cardinals lineup turned in by Tony La Russa for tonight's game. Pat Kelly, the former Yankee, leading off at second with Ray Langford in center and Mark McGwire at first. Brian Jordan in the cleanup spot. Ron Gant in left. Tom Pagnozzi behind the plate. Fernando Tatis at third. Look carefully now. That's not a misprint. That's the pitcher, Pat Morris, batting 8th. La Russa's done that with his pitchers for about a month now. And the shortstop is Luis Ordaz, batting 9th. And so Leiter, who's had the lead in each of those 3 no decisions, only to see the bullpen fail to hold it, will go after the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Leiter starting place second. See that 2.34 earned run average. Only Greg Maddux has a lower one. Maddux at 1.53. So Pat Kelly, like Leiter, a former Yankee, looks at a fastball upstairs. 1-0. Delino DeShields, the regular second baseman, just came off the disabled list before the game today. He had arthroscopic knee surgery. The Cardinals have struggled at the top of the order, although La Russa has liked what he's seen from Kelly. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kelly played at Syracuse in the minor leagues before coming to the Cardinals. Hit .280 with 17 home runs, 37 batted in. He was traded to St. Louis for cash.
Cardinals think Delano DeShields is going to leave after this year. But here's the story in St. Louis. The home run ball.
Missed with a slider, 2-1.
It's amazing, Ralph, looking back at the Black Sox scandal, how the home run ball saved baseball. Now after the labor problems, it looks like the home run ball's making baseball even more popular.
History repeats.
Smashed against the railing right in front of the Mets dugout. Somebody's going to get a white towel and start waving it. That might be Butch.
You wonder how a ball player, a batter, can be this far in front of a pitch and hit it that far foul. That is what you call really bad timing.
Maybe somebody was going for the towel.
You can slice the ball that way, but to pull the ball that way is unbelievable.
Kelly pulls it to the hole. Ordonez can't get him. And it's an infield hit for Pat Kelly. Long throw for Ray, and on his knees, he just couldn't get enough on it to nail Pat Kelly, and the Cardinals have the leadoff man on.
Well, Fran, the Cardinals have seen a lot of great shortstop play from Ozzie Smith.
And even Ozzy's impressed with this guy, Ray Ordonez. He puts him in the Ozzie Smith League, although he's unable to get Pat Kelly at first base. Ozzie didn't do that. Ordonez utilizes that left leg when he slides better than anybody.
Ray Langford takes a ball.
Have you ever seen a shortstop slide as much after ground balls?
No.
Including Ozzie.
Ozzie didn't have the arm that Ordonez has, but he certainly had the agility that Ray has.
2-0 now to Langford. Wonder how much Ozzie's, if he ever had the inclination to slide like Ordonez, would have been compromised because of the artificial turf on the infield as well.
He'd have to get a new pair of legs and skin.
There's his retired uniform number. They have done a great job remodeling Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. That's hit deep to center by Langford. It's going to be over McRae's head. On his way to third is Kelly. He's being waved home. McGwire will not make a relay throw. It's a double for Langford. The Cardinals have one of those runs right back. It's now 2-1 New York. And for Langford, who's been the Cardinals' hottest hitter since the All-Star break, RBI number 74.
But if you're a manager with Al Leiter on the mound, you see a left-hander scorch a ball like this, you have to be concerned. Early in the game, Leiter getting the ball up, and Langford hitting the ball very hard. Left-handers historically have struggled against Al Leiter. Al Leiter's the type of left-hander to get a manager to change his lineup and load up with right-handers.
So Langford... Sorry, Ralph.
I'm going to say, what do you do here? Do you pitch to McGwire or not?
Well, Bob Apodaca was asked that question before the game. And he said, you know, the game situation, especially later in the game, will dictate, but he wants to go after him. They want to get McGwire. At least that's what Bob Apodaca, Bobby Valentine's pitching coach, was saying before the game. So we'll see how Leiter handles him here.
McGwire has 103 RBIs. The next batter has 67. McGwire has 46 home runs. Brian Jordan, the next hitter, has 17.
Deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. Just foul. The only question was fair or foul. As far as the distance goes, the only question was upper deck or East St. Louis, Illinois.
Well, they got a fastball inside, and it was only the foul ball that kept this far from being home run number 47.
He knew it was going to curve foul.
Well, I guess they're going after him, huh?
Now might change their mind.
Remember, this is a guy who's walked 26 times intentionally.
This would be number 27.
Walked 121 times all told, and a lot of those were unintentionally intentional. Leiter missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's got a chance to set the all-time walk record of 170. Babe Ruth was walked 170 times in one season.
That's a strike, 1 and 2.
And when you look at Mark McGwire, Ralph, he's not only a power hitter, he has a real nice swing.
Short. Real compact, real short. He has a great swing, and he has handled it better than any batter in the history of the game of baseball as a home run ratio.
And the 1-2, a fastball up and in.
Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan both say that Mark McGwire is the greatest home run hitter of all time. Nobody's like him.
Funny thing about him is he seems to have matured into a better hitter. Never mind the home runs, just a better, more polished hitter over the last few years. See Langford leading from second, and Leiter looks him back.
And you look at this ballpark, it's never been a home run hitter's ballpark, although they've made some adjustments with the fences. He played in Oakland, another ballpark that's tough on home run hitters.
It's 2-2 to McGwire with nobody out. Langford leads from second. And that missed away.
He has a bat speed of 75 miles an hour. The fastest ever recorded.
I don't think they were recording him about 40 years ago.
No.
This is almost unbelievable. I mean, effectively, that's a full season. 70 home runs. And the payoff pitch. Came inside, but off the plate. And so, for the 122nd time, a walk to McGwire. And the boos for Al Leiter. Just as every other pitcher's received them who walked McGwire in this ballpark.
And, of course, the guy batting behind Mark McGwire has been delivering all year, batting .325.
Yeah, you know, you think of how much it means to have support in the lineup. Told you about 26 intentional walks from McGwire. Maris was not walked intentionally at all in 1961 because he had Mickey Mantle behind him.
I've heard a lot of the old timers say, when they're going to start pitching around McGwire? Well, they've been pitching around McGwire all year.
Brian Jordan benefiting. Takes inside for a ball. Jordan 6th in the league in average at the start of play tonight. He could walk at the end of the year. There's a lot of talk about whether or not the Cardinals would move him prior to the trade deadline a couple of weeks ago. Mets were one of the teams reportedly very much in pursuit. And it gets away from Piazza. The runners will move up. So Leiter came down and in with a slider, and now there are 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. And just as Morris struggled in the top of this inning, so is Leiter here in the bottom half. He scored a wild pitch against Leiter. Only the second that he's thrown this year. So the Mets leading 2-1. Langford's the runner at third. McGwire at second. And still nobody out here in the last of the first inning. First of a 3-game series from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The infield setback, although time is called. Even when Bobby Valentine plays his infield in, usually he'll start them like this and then creep them up. But in this situation, first inning, 2 on, unlikely he'd move them in. And that's ripped. Ray Langford might have seen his life pass by as that ball sailed just overhead.
One of the reasons you lead off in foul territory, if that ball hits you in fair territory, you are out.
That ball hit Langford. He would have been out even though he was in foul territory.
In 2 ways, yeah.
By the way, first base is still open and Ron Gant is on deck.
So 3-1 to Jordan with that open base.
Gant batting .219, but he's got some pop. He's got 18 home runs.
So we'll see what Leiter gives Jordan here on 3-1 with first base open.
If this was the 8th inning, they'd walk him and pitch to Gant.
Every inning is the same as far as runs are concerned.
That's right.
So he's handled Leiter well.
Some managers manage differently late in the ball game as opposed to early.
Reaching out, chasing McRae back. That should tie the game. Langford strolls home from third. McGwire holds at second. Sacrifice fly for Brian Jordan. And the Cardinals have come right back to tie it 2-2. First out of the inning recorded by Leiter. So the wild pitch hurts if the pitch selection was going to be the same. The end result, the tying run.
Some of the players that played for Whitey Herzog over the years felt that he was one of the few managers that managed early in the game the same way he would manage late in the game.
Whitey, an outstanding manager.
Breaking ball to Ron Gant, 0-1, who at one time was an outstanding hitter. Although since becoming a St. Louis Cardinal, he's making big bucks here. He's been a major disappointment, certainly in terms of the average. He's already surpassed his power numbers from last year.
He's a good fastball hitter. He's had trouble with the breaking ball. But he made a statement last year I was surprised at, Ralph. He said that he's not the type of guy that can carry a club. He doesn't want to be the #1 guy. I was surprised he made that statement.
That sits away, 2-1.
Well, he's in a perfect position with this club. He doesn't have to lead the club.
He was the lead guy for a while, and then Jordan came on, and they went out and they got Mark McGwire.
Gant's never had a hit against Leiter in all of 6 plate appearances. Leiter inside, 3-1.
And Howie mentioned how they signed him to a long-term contract. When they signed him to the long-term deal, they felt he would come over and lead with his bat.
Gant played 1 year in Cincinnati after leaving Atlanta. 3-1 pitch, a little nubber. Piazza will take it. And Gant's retired. Moving to third is McGwire. So 2 out now. McGwire 90 feet away as Piazza throws out Gant. And the catcher Tom Pagnozzi will be next.
Gant here right over the top of a hard slider. And a good play by Piazza to get him at first base.
Piazza coming out of there shooting a hurry. And flips to get Gant at first base. Flips the ball to John Olerud.
So with 2 men away now, the Mets will go after Tom Pagnozzi, the catcher. First ball hitting, he fouls it off the railing in front of the dugout. No balls, one strike. That one had significantly less giddy-up than the one that was smacked over there by Kelly. Magnozzi, one of 3 catchers the Cardinals are carrying. Also have Eli Marrero and Tom Lampkin. Magnozzi missed a good chunk of last year because of leg injuries. Alfonso has time, and the side retired. So pretty good bounce back by Al Leiter, although the Cardinals do tie it up. There were 2 hits, a walk, and 1 left. End of 1. It's 2-2. The dime, the bank that's with you all the way. So each team with a 2-spot in the first inning, and we go to the second here at Busch Stadium. Mike Piazza drove in the 2 for the Mets. Al Leiter gave him right back. Although Leiter did a good job to get out of the inning, retiring the last 3 batters after a single, a double, and a walk started the inning against him. So the bottom third of the Mets order here in the second inning. Carlos Baerga, Ray Ordonez, and Al Leiter for New York. And the first pitch from Matt Morris. 1 ball, no strikes. That is the longest drought of his career. 1-1. Remember, this was a guy who drove in a couple of runs, or I'm sorry, drove in 100 runs a couple of times while with the Cleveland Indians in the American League. Pulled to Kelly at second. Baerga retired, 1 man away.
Ralph, it has to be a confidence problem with Baerga as far as the long ball is concerned, because he's 29 years old. He still has good bat speed. And he seemed to have lost his home run stroke from Cleveland to New York.
You think it's a difference in the pitching in the National League?
No. I mean, you face a lot of these guys in the American League the way players move around today.
Well, that's true, but at the same time, we haven't seen the Baerga of the Cleveland Indians.
And he still has good bat speed.
Ray Ordonez takes low, 1-0 to Ray.
But he struggled when he came over to the Mets. He had injury to his stomach, which had a negative effect on swinging the bat.
Ordonez shoots it through the hole. Past Ordaz. And Ray Ordonez continues to get his hits. I mean, he's put up some outstanding numbers since the All-Star break to get that average up into the 260s.
He is hitting .382 since the All-Star break. And he has raised his average in his last 76 at-bats at .328. The Mets are red hot as a team since the All-Star break. .290 a team batting average.
So Al Leiter in a bunt situation pulls it back, 0-1. Leiter 4 hits on the year and 36 trips.
Mets are second to the Colorado Rockies in that department, team batting, since the All-Star break. Colorado Rockies over 300, and they can't win.
Tough to pitch in that place, as we saw again this weekend. Darryl Kyle did a pretty good job yesterday. That's about as well as you can pitch under normal circumstances at Coors Field. Of course, remember Hideo Nomo, who really struggled yesterday, pitched a no-hitter there, but under inclement weather conditions. Good bunt by Leiter. The only play will be to first. So the sacrifice 1-4 if you're keeping a scorecard. Ordonez down to second with 2 men away.
Good job of bunting here by Leiter. He still has trouble running. Gets ahead of the bat on top of the ball, which is a must in bunting well.
So Leiter executing perfectly, and now Tony Phillips in an RBI situation. He has driven in 3 runs since joining the Mets. Tony grounded to first on the first pitch of the game. Somewhat unusual to see him first ball hitting because he has worked a lot of deep counts. Behind here, 0-1. Came into this game with a .413 on base percentage as a New York Met. 2 outs in the second, tied at 2. And the breaking ball missed. 1-1. Fly ball towards the left field line. Gant over. And the side retired. He was in fair territory when he made the grab. And the Mets are done here in the second. No runs, a 1-out hit. Middle of the second in St. Louis. 2-2. I'll have that answer for you a little bit later on. McGwire and Maris. Don't forget about Ken Griffey and Sammy Sosa. Fernando Tatis, the Cardinals' third baseman, takes a slider inside. Tatis picked up from the Texas Rangers.
And the Cardinals then released Gary Gaetti.
Tatis has talked about feeling very uncomfortable here in the National League, at least for the time being. Inside again, 2-0.
Talking about Griffey, he hasn't had a home run in his last 42 at bats. He's gone 9 straight games without a home run.
Yeah, a lot of people felt he would have the edge, especially because they play in a smaller park indoors. 3-0 now to Fernando Tatis. He's getting into the point of the season now where maybe you start to feel the travel a little bit more. Weather is normally very hot, as it is here in St. Louis today this time of year.
Can't affect Ken Griffey Jr.
Well, that's the point about the indoors, is 4 straight pitches from Leiter wind up out of the strike zone. Interesting thing about Griffey is Tatis will go down to first base. He said right around the All-Star break, he says, don't even bother talking to me about the home run record. I'm not going to do it. It almost sounded as though he was disassociating himself from the chase, even though he figures to be pretty close to it by the time the season's over.
Probably a pretty good move. Also, a guy like Sammy Sosa keeps saying that Mark McGwire's the guy. He's not the guy, yet he trails him by 2 home runs. He's going to say that until they get 60.
Well, here's one of the reasons that Al Leiter didn't bother a whole lot with Fernando Tatis. Tatis, the seventh hitter in the Cardinals lineup, but look who's batting 8th. It's the pitcher, Matt Morris.
But here in this spot, he's in a bunting situation, so they really have it set up the way they want it. He'll sacrifice here.
Showed little inclination as he pulled the bat back, and just getting back to first is Tatis.
It looked like he was trying to decoy his swing and then try and bunt, but it'd be unusual here for him not to try and sacrifice. Incidentally, this system has not worked at all since the All-Star break when they first started having the pitcher bat 8th. They have been less productive all the way around. Runs scored also, and chances to score runs.
That looked like a hit and run right there, and Tatis was able to get back to first.
Olerud has to go to first. Baerga covers, so they execute perfectly as Tatis moves on to second.
Watch Piazza. It looks like Tatis is on the move, and he sees that Morris couldn't handle that ball. It was inside, and Piazza throws to first. It might have something to do with he didn't pick him up right away between first and second when he was pointing into the eyes. It looked like to me like he was pointing at his eyes. He didn't get a good look at Tatis.
Well, Piazza can get a good look at him now because Tatis is straight ahead of him in scoring position with 1 out. Not for the leadoff batter, but for light hitting, at least to this point, Luis Ordaz, who inherited the shortstop role here in St. Louis when Royce Clayton was traded to the Texas Rangers. And a slider in the dirt, 1-0.
All of a sudden, the Cardinals are getting back into at least a wild card race.
Well, they're 7 games back of the Cubs, but they've got a lot of teams in front of them.
And they traded their best pitcher away.
You wonder if they would have done that if they felt they could, if they had a legitimate shot at the wild card. Next week they'll be in New York. 4 games in 2 days. Tony La Russa will bring his Cardinals to town, so Shea Stadium should be jumping. Mark McGwire, he'll be there.
2-1 now to Ordaz.
They also traded away their shortstop. So you think that they have really given up.
Royce Clayton now in Texas.
That's Walt Jocketty, the general manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, and his call was to unload some salary, especially guys who stood to leave at the end of the year. He did that with Stottlemyre. Tatis running, the pitch fouled away. So with one out, Fernando Tatis trying to steal third.
And Tatis with a big jump, but fortunately for the Mets, the ball was fouled off.
Well, Tatis with a good jump off second base. And he had third base stolen, but the ball's fouled off, so he's back at second.
Two and two to Luis Ordaz. Baerga's sneaking in, but Tatis gets back.
Ordaz had a 2-for-5 night Friday night against the Cubs here at Busch Stadium. Place was rocking over the weekend, the Cubs and the Cardinals. Cardinals sweeping the Cubs.
That's one of the biggest rivalries in baseball.
Cardinals have won 5 in a row, 2 against Milwaukee in the 3-game weekend series against the Cubs. And the 2-2 pitch outside. So Leiter now full to the number 9 batter with Pat Kelly on deck. Mets scored 2 at the top of the first. Cardinals got him right back. Sounds like he broke his bat. Alfonso cuts it off, and Ordaz retired. On to third goes Tatis, 2 men away.
And Al Leiter will break all kinds of bats when he's on the mound. That was really a broken bat jam job there.
Ordaz putting that ball in play, and Alfonso making a play to first base. Tatis now on third.
Another piece of wood gives its life in the name of a pitcher. So Tatis 90 feet away. Pat Kelly had an infield single to start the Cardinals first. And the breaking ball for Leiter sits high, 1-0. Tony La Russa was saying that he'll use Kelly at third base or in the outfield once DeShields reestablishes himself at second base. Like what they've seen from Pat Kelly. Out in front, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, those eyes even bulge a little bit when he's on deck. Leiter hits the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not even on deck, really. He's in the hole. Ray Lankford is due up next. So I guess that's visualizing, huh?
He has to do it with the aid of a contact lens. He has 2,500 in one eye.
Well, from 60 feet, 6 inches away, he's 20/20, all right.
And for years, everybody talked about how great Ted Williams, how great his eyesight was. You got a guy like Mark McGwire who can hit, and he's in trouble with his eyesight.
Well, he was a pitcher until he corrected his vision with the contact.
To the comfort of many hitters.
He was a pitcher in college, and then in one year he ended up hitting and impressed everybody. Almost was a #1 draft pick by the Mets. Joe McIlvaine called his father and said, "We're thinking of picking your son #1. Will he sign with us?" He said, "I'm not sure." So they didn't pick him.
Leiter strikes out Kelly in the side. Edgardo Alfonso doubled his first time up. Takes a curveball for strike 1. Alfonso came around to score on Mike Piazza's 2-run double. 0-2 to Alfonso. Remember John Olerud on deck trying to tie Hubie Brooks' all-time Mets consecutive game hitting streak record at 24. With Alfonso on second last time, Olerud didn't get much to hit. And now a pop-up in foul territory. That's handled by McGwire.
That's one thing that's been overlooked by people when they talk about McGwire is his defense. Cardinals think he's an outstanding defensive first baseman.
But it's the Mets first baseman who takes center stage right now. John Olerud walked and scored on Piazza's first inning double. Gibby Brooks hit in 24 straight games in 1984. Got him traded. 0-1 to Olerud. After that season was over, he went to the Montreal Expos in the Gary Carter trade. Olerud leading the major leagues in hitting at the start of play tonight. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. Remember, the Mets have never had a batting champion. So John Olerud making a bid to get into the Mets record books in a couple of categories. Fouled away, 1-2.
And the on-base percentage league leaders, the Continental Airlines brings it to you. McGwire on top. McGwire's on top of everything. You got Olerud, Sheffield, a forgotten man in Los Angeles.
2-2 now to John.
And he is one of the top paid players in the National League and treating by a large margin in the important departments.
Line drive right at Ron Gant. So Olerud in 2 plate appearances without a hit, now 0 for 1 with a walk. 2 out, nobody on. Piazza coming up. And let's go back to our Aflac trivia question and get it settled for you. It's a bit of a trick question only because the Yankees, because of a tie game in mid-season, would play 163 games that year. So although Maris missed 2, he played 161 of the scheduled 162. But with that tie game, the records counted, but the game, of course, did not count in the standings. That's what Mark McGwire is chasing this year. 2-0 now to Piazza. Mike now has 68 RBIs after that double in the first inning.
Piazza with a line drive in the gap in left field and a 2 RBI double, and the Mets take the early lead 2-0.
Breaking ball hits the outside corner, so it's 2-2 now to Mike.
Saw Mike Piazza and Mark McGwire having a long conversation before the game around the batting cage. They rope off the area here in St. Louis. You can't get near the batting cage during BP for the Cardinals. Then when the Mets took BP, they took the ropes down.
Well, they had a big crowd in the ballpark as far as batting practice hours go. But it's not like they had 25 or 30,000 people here. Just a little bit up and in.
And we've seen McGwire take batting practice where it's really something to behold. Today it wasn't. He was just getting loose.
Of course, the first ball he hit for a home run was hit into the upper deck.
Yeah, but I've seen him in a number of them up there during BP.
And the payoff pitch by Morris. That'll back up Ordaz, and he can't handle it.
That is called letting the ball play you. He backed up, and that took the chance of his fielding the ball cleanly away.
Well, they tell an infielder that he should charge just about every ball that's hit. Ordaz moves back. That ball played him. That's a great example, Ralph, as you mentioned, of the ball playing the infielder. Ordaz on his heels. If he fields his ball cleanly, I don't know if he throws Piazza out at first base because he was backing up.
Would you call that a case of handcuffing the fielder?
The official score credits Piazza with a base hit.
And the fans were booing.
Todd Hundley struck out his first time up. Whoa. Deep to right field. And this this going to be Hundley's first home run of the year?
He crushed. Look where that ball landed.
4-2 New York. And that'll probably relax Todd Hundley. He hit that one to McGwire country. McGwire, of course, pulls him to left. Hundley pulled this one to right.
I like the way Brian Jordan watched it. Brian Jordan, the right fielder, just turned around, watched the ball sail way into the seats. He hit that ball into luxury suites in right field.
78 at bat for the Mets and his first home run. Last couple of years, he's hit a home run on opening day.
Yeah, 4 years in a row he'd done that. So this feels like opening day to Todd Hundley now, probably in more ways than one, even though he's been playing for about a month. 1-0 to Brian McRae, and the Mets have their 2-run lead back. It's 4-2. And McRae lines one down the line, and that's a fair ball. The carom played by Jordan. McRae on his way to second, and it's a 2-out double for Brian McRae. So even though Mike Piazza was credited with a base hit, the ball that he hit to the shortstop still might have been enough to get the Cardinals out of this inning. 1-2-3. As it turns out, it has ignited a Met rally, and Todd Hundley was the igniter switch here.
This ball's hit as far as any we've seen this year, Ralph.
A high fastball, and Todd knows it is gone. And it was a landmark home run.
So he probably feels all the way back now. And Carlos Baerga takes in the dirt. I mean, if Todd Hundley was over anxious, now that he's got his home run, you think that'll calm him down a little bit?
It certainly will help. He's a home run hitter. 41 to break the all-time record for home runs by a catcher. Roy Campanella held that record for years and years.
Todd never gets cheated in his swings. It's not as though he's going to cut down on his swing now that he's got a more wide comfort level. Baerga out in front there, as Hundley's been lately, 2-1. I would think it's all about relaxing now for Todd Hundley, and you would think that he's finally in a position to do that.
Confidence and relaxing go together. Which comes first? The chicken or the egg?
How'd it work for you?
Getting base hits.
So even though you hit all those home runs, a base hit would be enough to make you feel like you had that comfort level back?
And yeah, it really does. I think a hitter worries more about prolonged slumps without base hits than he does about a continuance of home runs. But definitely there's pressure on, like it is with Griffey. 9 games without a home run, the pressure starts to mount. And he, no matter what he says, wants to hit a lot of home runs.
Was your philosophy go through the middle when you were in a slump, like I've heard people talk about?
Well, that is one way. That means you stay back, and that's one of the best ways to do it. I took a lot of batting practice and tried to start out just hitting the ball up the middle. And then I tried to pull everything.
Well, Baerga called out on strikes, side retired, but nice to see that smile back on Todd Hundley's face. This is why. That's a lot of smiling in that swing. It gives the Mets a 2-run lead once again. First of the year for Todd.
Cavatelli.
Better to spend some time than here in Big Mac land. The fans have their yellow hard hats on in case one crash lands here during his at-bat. You can feel the emotions building as he makes his way to the plate. Second batter this inning, fellas. You know, he can reach this no problem at all.
Well, if Cal Ripken's streak was the early symbol of baseball's revival after the strike a couple of years ago, really that's 3 years ago now, this is the one that cemented it. Mark McGwire. But first it's Langford, who doubled in a run his first time up, and he takes down low, ball 1. Mets now leading 4-2. They have 6 hits, the Cardinals 2. 2-0 on Langford. 10 homers since the All-Star break. Batting over .340 now since the break. Two and one now on Langford. Langford came up to the Cardinals right around the same time that former Met Bernard Gilkey did. That's when the Cardinals let Vince Coleman and Willie McGee go and started to turn their outfield around. 2-2 now to Langford. Langford at times has appeared to be on the verge of turning into one of the 5 or 6 most complete all-around players in the game. Leiter misses inside and the count's full.
Had a breakthrough year in '97, hit .295 with 31 home runs. 98 runs batted in.
And the payoff pitch lined right at Hundley and stays with it. So 1 man away. All right, Mark McGwire coming up. He walked the first time up. What is Bob Apodaca's philosophy about pitching to him?
That's a pitcher's mentality right there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
One ball, 1 strike now to Mark McGwire. Now, he's not sitting on a record with his next swing, but you couldn't tell by all the light bulbs flashing, huh?
They take pictures hoping to get that home run swing, but that statement by Apodaca is a pitcher's philosophy. Thank God for hitters for thinking like that. That's exactly what a hitter wants a pitcher or pitching coach to think. When you can hit like this guy, you don't want to take him on. But they do, and that's why you see so many home runs hit. He has 7 weeks to go, and he has to average 2 home runs a week for the 7 weeks, plus 2 other home runs to hit 62.
He had the swing on for number 47 there as he did his first time up, but now it's a full count.
It's amazing. Here's a good swing right here. Swings right through it. Flash bulbs all over the place. It's like a rock concert.
Got him. Leiter strikes out McGwire. 2 men away. Second strikeout for Al.
Another thing that helps a home run hitter have a great year is to strike out a considerable amount. Because by striking the hitter out, they think they can do it again.
Well, the ball Leiter hit, McGwire hit his first time up just foul. He just swung and missed it, the identical pitch. Fastball inside part of the plate.
So 2 out, nobody on. Brian Jordan drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the first inning.
It's funny when Leiter missed with a couple pitches, the fans here started booing him.
One and one now to Jordan. Leiter gave up hits to the first 2 batters he faced in the first inning, Kelly and Langford. He's not given up a hit since. 2 outs in the third, 4-2 New York.
Jackie Joyner Curtsey, the great sprinter, her husband has worked with Jordan, in getting his body into good condition. He's been on the DL a lot, and he said to Jordan he was in terrible shape. He has taken on a program to get in better shape.
Popped up to the right side. It should end the inning. Baerga there, and the side retired. So Leiter gets the Cardinals in order, and at the end of 3 here in St. Louis, Mets by 2.
This hits a fly ball to right field. Jordan makes the grab, 1 down. Let's go back to Mark McGwire's last at bat and take a look at the pitch sequence, Ralph.
Okay, here's the first pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch there. Change up down low. And the slider back inside. Now again the slider. And the fastball missed. That was a good pitch to hit right here, back with the fastball. And McGwire strikes out for the 106th time.
And the batter now will be Al Leiter. It's 0-1 on the Met left-hander. He takes inside from Matt Morris. It's 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Big crowd on hand tonight. First of a 3-game series. You can catch all the action for all 3 games right here on Fox Sports New York. Up high to Leiter, 3-1. Keep in mind, the Cardinals come to town for 4 games in 2 days. Big Mark McGwire leads them into Shea next week. There's a strike. 3-2 on Leiter. And Morris walks Leiter. So with 1 man out, Matt Morris walks the pitcher. Tony La Russa, I believe he just told McGwire to play behind Leiter at first base. Leiter having a conversation with McGwire at first base, and batter now Tony Phillips. Phillips popped out to first base, and he flied out. Takes down low, ball 1.
Now, for each home run hit by the Mets this season, Fox Sports New York makes a contribution to Ronald McDonald Charities. Todd Hundley hit one earlier. It's Mark McGwire country.
So Al Leiter leading off first base. And Phillips drives his ball to center field. Great play by Langford. Outstanding play, taking an extra base hit away from Tony Phillips.
Well, they had a center fielder named Curt Flood that was great for the Cardinals right here. Langford makes a wonderful play on a hard line drive by Phillips.
So 2 men are out, and the batter, Edgardo Alfonso. Runner still on first base, Al Leiter.
Curt Flood changing the game of baseball when he refused to go on a trade to the Philadelphia Phillies from the Cardinals. In that trade, Tim McCarver.
Alfonso takes a strike, 0-1. A lot of players changed uniforms in that trade, right?
Quite a few.
Richie Allen coming to St. Louis. Alfonso fouls it off. So it's 0-2.
There was a former Met involved in that, too, as it turned out, because when Flood refused to report, the Cardinals had to substitute another player, and that player turned out to be Willie Montañez.
The original hot dog.
Yeah, and how.
Montañez was substituted for Curt Flood. Flood had to sit out, and later on came back with the Washington Ball Club.
Alfonso hits the ball right down the third baseline. It's fair to throw to first, not in time. So Edgardo Alfonso with an infield hit.
Good play by Tatis on this ball to field the play, but he couldn't get enough on the throw to get the runner at first.
So the Mets have runners on first and second, and the batter, John Olerud. Olerud walked his first time up and came around to score. And he lined hard to center field, so he's 0 for 1. Takes the breaking ball up high, 1-0 on John Olerud. Now batting .351. Needs a hit to extend the hitting streak to 24 games, tying Hubie Brooks. And he drives this ball to deep left field. Gant in pursuit and makes the grab at the wall. So Olerud hit the ball hard twice and is 0 for 2 in his ball game. Mets fail to score. They strand 2. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, the Mets have the lead, and we'll be back.
Let's meet the Arizona Diamondbacks. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX. That's 718-507-TIXX.
New York Mets baseball. Baseball is brought to you in part by Omnipoint. 100% digital, 0% hassle.
And back here at Busch Stadium in front of a big crowd, the Cardinals and the Mets. 4-2, the Mets on top of the Cardinals. Go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and Ron Gant will lead it off. Gant 0 for 1 in this game. Al Leiter's first pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, so it's 0-1 on Gant. Remember Gant coming up to the major leagues in 1987, but in '89 went all the way back down to A-ball to learn how to play the outfield.
He was an infielder, and even though Gant means glove in French, he could not field in the infield.
But that guy can, Ordonez. They get Gant one down.
Went back and learned how to play the outfield, and then started a wonderful career, and then a motorcycle accident when he broke his leg almost ended the career right there.
But he came back. He's put up some good numbers since, although he's struggling this year as far as his batting average is concerned. A batter now, Tom Pagnazzi. He grounded out his first time up. Pagnazzi pulls it foul towards the Met dugout once again. 0-1 on Pagnazzi.
That inside slider making the Cardinal batters hit the ball into the Mets dugout.
Pagnazzi will be followed by Tatis. And the 0-1 pitch, pop foul, and out of play.
Pagnazzi got his first hit off the Mets in his rookie year, and his first home run. That came off Sid Fernandez. First hit tied the game in the 9th, and the Cardinals won the game in the 10th.
0-2 on Pagnazzi. Down low and off the plate. 1-2.
Check out Pagnazzi's eyes.
I like it. Outside, most catchers today move from corner to corner.
He has been looking back at the catcher just prior to the pitch on most of the pitches.
All he's looking for is location. 2-2 pitch. Way inside. 3-2. Did he peek? If he did, it was dangerous there because Piazza was sitting in the middle of the plate.
He did not move, and that would indicate a fastball inside, and that's what he got.
So 3-2 now on Tom Pagnazzi facing Al Leiter. Cardinals trailing by 2. It's on top of that ball, but it rolls into foul territory, so we'll do it again at 3-2. Pagnazzi batting .219 this year. He won the job here in St. Louis because he was a good defensive catcher. But he did swing a decent bat. He's dealt with some injuries which set him back.
Last year it was the arm. He had a tricep injury, as well as a calf injury and a hip injury.
He's a .286 batter a lifetime against the Mets.
Well, it's 3-2 on Pagnazzi. Foul back and out of play. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you just tuned in, you're watching all the action on Fox Sports New York. Fernando Tatis on deck. Another big crowd on hand here at Busch Stadium for the Cards. Another foul ball out of play. Count remains 3-2. What a franchise in St. Louis, Missouri. People come from 100 miles away to games here.
How about doing it? Memphis, Tennessee, a big following from Memphis here in St. Louis. Of course, their #1 farm club is in Memphis now.
And a 3-2 pitch to Pagnazzi. Strike 3 call. Pagnazzi disagrees with C.B. Buckner. Whoops.
Well, that's not a good way for Pagnazzi to get any calls himself behind the plate later in this game.
You got to be really careful what you do and say to the umpire.
You know what the most important thing in his mind right now is? Swinging that bat. He doesn't care about his pitcher.
He probably said, you don't give our pitcher those kind of strikes, why me? Fastball, and Piazza a good job of framing the ball in the strike zone. After catching it, maybe outside.
And Fernando Tatis just fouled the ball off his foot. 0-1 on the Cardinals shortstop. I should say third baseman.
Tatis tattooed Tatis there.
Barry Weinberg, the trainer with the St. Louis Cardinals. Longtime trainer in Oakland when Tony La Russa was the manager out there.
And they had a legendary trainer here for the Cardinals way back when. His name was Doc Weaver. And he was the trainer in the heyday of the Cardinals in the pre-war days, World War II.
Oh,
all bone.
And above the padding. So Tatis is okay. It's 0-1 on the Cardinal third baseman. 2 men are out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 4-2 Mets. Leiter will probably get him again on that foot if he throws him a down and in slider. Tatis drives the ball deep to left field. Will it stay fair? No. Foul ball. McGwire hit one like that his first time up, just foul.
That's an inside fastball and gets the ball out of the ballpark, but not fair. Didn't limp as he thought that ball might be a home run.
Leiter was hoping.
Mel's only given up 3 home runs so far this year, so it's something of an unfamiliar feeling.
0-2 on Tatis. Mets with 6 hits in this game. The Cardinals only 2 off Leiter. A foul ball right below us. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tatis against Leiter. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Leiter has walked just 2 batters in this game, but he has been pitching around about the strike zone. He hasn't had the good command.
Down low. So it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning in front of a huge crowd here in St. Louis. The Mets and the Cardinals. Bobby Valentine looking on along with Bob Apodaca. 3-2. Matt Morris, the pitcher, on deck, batting in the 8th slot. And the 3-2 pitch. There's a line drive base hit in the left center field. McRae cuts it off, gets the ball back in. So Fernando Tatis with his first hit of the game.
And the first hit since the first inning for the Cardinals. Tatis coming to the Cardinals from Texas. Gets a fastball in the 3-2 pitch, and sitting on the fastball gets the base hit.
Why not throw him a fastball when you have the pitcher up next? And it's such a luxury for the Mets here, the way the lineup is stacked up for the Cardinals. If you get Matt Morris, the pitcher, then you have the number 9 batter leading off the 5th inning. And Luis Ordaz, for the time being, is hit like a number 9 batter.
Outside, ball 1 to Matt Morris. Same two teams go at it again tomorrow night. We'll bring you all the action on Fox Sports New York. On deck, Luis Ordaz. Morris fouls the ball off. 1-1.
You know, that strategy of Tony La Russa will work a lot better when and if Ordaz or whomever else hits in that 9th spot starts getting on base.
He wants to have more men on base for Mike McGwire.
Down low. 2-1.
And it hasn't worked out that way since they started doing this, betting the pitcher 8th at the start of the second half of the season.
And the 2-1 pitch. Swung at and missed 2-2.
Can you outthink the game after 140 years or whatever it's been?
Well, it goes back to 1876. I don't think he can. Although La Russa is a very bright guy. La Russa passed his bar exam.
Morris goes down swinging. The Cardinals stranded a runner here in the bottom of the 4th. Mets have the lead. Tatis misses a home run by inches. Leiter's happy, and we'll be.
Come in and have a heated conversation with Alternative Heat in Paramus, the experts in gas, pellet, wood-burning stoves, and fireplaces. They have only the finest, like the Mendota gas fireplace with direct venting and 80% efficiency. And with over 20 years personal experience, you're assured quality service and expert installation for a custom-designed fireplace and mantle. Alternative Heat. It's not just stoves and fireplaces, it's a lifestyle. 300 Route 17 North, Paramus.
My general manager is selling cars and trucks so cheap, he's driving me nuts.
Bruce says I can't sell cars at these low prices, but I say everything must go.
At Butler Chrysler Plymouth Jeep, you'll find the largest selection of new Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeeps, and pre-owned cars and trucks, all at bottom-line prices. Prices so low, Bruce hates them, but you'll love them. Butler Chrysler Plymouth Jeep is also your home to state-of-the-art service, no matter where you bought your automobile.
Low overhead equals low prices at Butler Chrysler Plymouth Jeep.
Ah, you're killing me.
To earn your trust. Fox Sports News, primetime. Brink and Joe Torre.
Well, it's not very often you win 2 World Series in 2 days.
Tonight, 2 brothers, affair of the heart. Fox Sports News, primetime on Fox Sports New York.
That's Jim Toomey, tonight's scorer of the game, brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation, the most timely, cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes. And he has shaved some runs off of Matt Morris's ERA.
Mike Piazza just took a strike from Matt Morris. It's 4-2 Mets on top of the Cardinals, top of the 5th.
Remember last time Piazza was up, he hit that ground ball towards shortstop, on which Ordaz, the shortstop, backed up almost into short left field. Originally it was ruled a base hit as the ball got through. Now it's ruled an error, which means the runs which scored in that inning are unearned.
Piazza hits the ball to the right side. Scored 4-3. Kelly to McGwire, 1 down.
And Piazza's attorney will be calling Jim Toomey very shortly.
Well, Todd Hundley will come to the plate now. If you missed it, he hit a McGwire-like shot here at Busch Stadium his last time up in the 3rd inning.
Fastball and a 2-run home run, his first for the Mets in 77 at-bats. I don't know where that ball ended up, but it was a long way.
Ended up in a luxury suite. Hundley takes up high, 1-0. He scorched that ball. I like Brian Jordan, the right fielder, just turned and watched. Morris throws him a curveball. He takes it for a strike, so it's 1-1 on Todd Hundley. 1 man out. Mets on top of the Cardinals, 4-2. There's the luxury sweep. They caught the ball right there. Hundley unable to check his swing. 1-2. So Hundley, who struck out his first time up, in his second at bat, crushed a fastball. It's 1-2 on Todd Hundley. He took the curveball in this at bat for a strike. Gets the heater inside. 2-2. Quiet here at Busch Stadium. Breaking ball is fouled off.
One of the reasons why the pitchers are not working quickly for the most part. I mean, earlier in the game there were runners on base, which is going to slow the pace down, but it's very hot. It's rather humid here as well, and for the most part the pitchers have taken their time.
The people have come out to see Mark McGwire hit a home run. Hundley swinging over the off-speed pitch. 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by the New York Mets solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and Fox Sports New York is prohibited.
And Brian McRae just took a ball, so it's 1-0 on McRae. He's 1 for 2. He's doubled in his game, and he's grounded out. Breaking ball, call strike, 1-1. That ball's a hanger, isn't it, Ralph?
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing my eyesight. And the 1-1 pitch. Fouled out of play. 1-2. It's hot and it's humid here in St. Louis.
One of the things they have done here with this ballpark is take out the artificial turf. They put a thermometer on the turf when they opened this ballpark. In the summertime, it was 160 degrees.
And you saw the perspiration in Matt Morris's hat. There's a fan who refuses to perspire.
When they played the All-Star game here, people were being carried out on stretchers, and Casey Stengel said, this holds heat very well.
See the perspiration on the hat of Matt Morris. He has a count of 3-2 on Brian McRae. 2 men are gone. McRae skies it. Gant comes in, calls for it, and makes the grab for round number 3. So the Mets go quietly. Here in the 5th inning, they fail to score. We've played 4.5 here at Busch Stadium. The Mets have a 4-2 lead, and we'll be back.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep summer days. Like a 0-down $279 a month Cherokee lease with only $774 due at signing. With all this, including air conditioning at no extra charge. Or get a great price on Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check out this $279 lease at your dealer.
This program is brought to you in part by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation, the most timely and cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes.
Going to the last of the 5th inning here in St. Louis. Mets leading 4-2. Brian McRae flew out to left field to end the inning. One small move by Ron Gant. One child's life made by the gesture.
Isn't that great?
Nice going, Ron Gant. Well, here's our Jeep game summary. Mets building a 4-2 lead halfway through. They got on top early. The Cardinals answered right back, and then Todd Hundley provided his first home run of the year. John Olerud looking to tie Hubie Brooks' team batting streak record.
And Luis Ordaz pops the ball up in the infield. Carlos Baerga makes the grab, one down. 4-2, the Mets on top of the Cardinals, the first of a 3-game series here.
That is a well-synchronized effort on the part of Met fans that we assume made the trip from New York. Saw several Met fans in the lobby of the hotel.
How about on a plane coming out here? At the airport. Mets are represented, the Met fans are represented here at Busch Stadium. You got to assume he's a Mets fan. As Pat Kelly takes down low, ball one.
Deductive reasoning at its best.
Or could that be a decoy? 1-0 on Pat Kelly. He hits a long drive down left field line, but it's curving foul and out of play. So 1 ball and 1 strike, and a former Yankee facing a former Yankee, Al Leiter.
Well, the Mets have had 14 wins and 7 losses in their last 21 games. They're half a game out in the wild card. So the interest is certainly mounting for the Mets.
Mets will be back home next week. Start a homestand up high to Kelly, 2-1. During the homestand, Mark McGwire and the Cardinals come to town for 4 games in 2 days. 2-1 pitch to Kelly. Checks his swing. Easy play for Baerga. 2 down.
Well, the Beanie Babies are coming back to Shea, and hopefully you'll be there too on the 22nd of this month against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Curly will be the featured attraction, and all kids 14 and under will get Curly the Beanie Baby. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX.
And Ray Langford takes a strike from Al Leiter. It's 0-1. Langford 1 for 2. He has a double in his ball game. Doing a fine job patrolling center field for the Cardinals again this year. Up high, 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch from Leiter. There's a high fly ball, center field. Camping under it, Brian McRae, and that'll do it for the Cardinals as they go quietly here in the 5th. And after 5 at Busch Stadium, hot and humid Busch Stadium, it's 4-2 Mets.
John Lithgow performs the Discover Card Dial-Along song.
An extemporaneous piece.
Provided for your dialing pleasure while you call 1-800-IT-PAYS-2 and apply for your Discover card, the card with the cashback bonus award that always pays you back.
That was a nice surprise.
And that's music to everyone's ears. It pays to Discover. To apply, call 1-800-IT-PAYS-2. Accepted where you see the Novus sign.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Having fun yet? Then get to the summer of fun and nobody beats the whiz. Buy the fun stuff you want and get more fun stuff, like special offers, tickets to games, Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall with select purchases. See newspaper for details. Nobody beats the whiz. A Cablevision company.
For 100 years, Biv the Michelin Man has symbolized our never-ending quest to invent the best tires in the world. Michelin, celebrating 100 years of innovation.
Time for the Coors Light Silver Bullet sixth. Carol Slattery from New York is tonight's lucky fan. So if a Met homers this inning, Carol gets dinner for two at the office. And Carlos Baerga takes a breaking ball from Matt Morris to start the sixth inning. Mets will have Baerga, Ray Ordonez, and Al Leiter, the bottom third of their batting order against Morris. Fastball inside. Mets have had 6 hits off of Morris. Baerga has grounded to second and been caught looking. Inside, 2-1. Interesting to see how far Tony La Russa goes with Morris tonight. Breaking ball to the right side. Pat Kelly takes care of Baerga, 1 away.
Well, between innings, the conversation being held in the dugout by Mike Piazza along with Al Leiter. They're talking about how a ball moved. And Leiter's talking about, I'm going to make it go down. Apodaca's listening. That was a breaking ball Leiter was talking about right there. Probably the slider.
Ray Ordonez 1 for 2. Lines it to center. Langford again. What a circle around that grab. That's the second play tonight on which Ray Langford has gotten an outstanding jump. He robbed Tony Phillips in the 4th inning and takes a base hit away from Ordonez here. 2 men away.
Two identical type catches by Langford. The other was on Tony Phillips.
Well, he was in full stride almost off the crack of the bat. And Ray Ordonez had reason to believe that he was going to be 2 for 3. But Langford took care of that dream. So now 2 men away, nobody on, and Al Leiter coming up. Nothing in 1. The Cardinals through the years have had some outstanding defensive center fielders. Ralph talked about Curt Flood before, traded after the 1969 season. Willie McGee did a solid job for them in center field throughout the 1980s. And Ray Langford's been the guy in the 90s.
And you can go back to the Gas House gang, and Terry Moore in center field was a great one.
Leiter caught looking. Easy inning for Matt Morris with a little help from his defense. Mets go in order. Second straight inning that Morris has retired the side. 1-2-3. McGwire will lead off for the Redbirds. It's 4-2 New York.
You may find yourself strangely obsessed, captivated, mesmerized. You can't help it. It's beyond your control. You are not alone. There's something you need to find. Feed your need. Shark Week. Tonight and every night this week at 9 Eastern and Pacific on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days. Like a 0 down, $319 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $814 due at signing. Or during summer days, take advantage of low 1.9% financing. But you'd better hurry in because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check out this $319 lease at your dealer.
Only God makes better copies.
I'm Kelly Olerud. How would you like to win John Olerud's jersey?
I'm Gloria Ordonez. This Ray Ordonez jersey could be yours.
The Mets are taking the shirts off their backs for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Buy a raffle ticket during the August 23rd game against Arizona, and you could be presented with a player jersey on the field at the end of the day.
Show up at Shea.
In support of the MDA.
Well, the
the one on the left. Sosa is a cheeseburger compared to the Big Mac.
We're going to look at the Big Mac right now. He is immense.
Wait, look at that on the right. Anybody drive to St. Louis from Hawaii anytime in the recent past? May have a record setter there. Driving from Hawaii. Now remember, I showed you this last time McGwire was up. On every pitch, the crowd in anticipation, at the very least, of crystallizing McGwire's swing on film, much less a home run, will fire up the flashbulbs. McGwire's walked and been caught looking. 4-2 Mets, last of the 6th inning. 0-1. McGwire out in front of the off-speed pitch. He has been remarkably ordinary considering the kind of season that he's had since the All-Star break. Well, I don't think it was fair for anyone to expect 80 home runs or whatever the pace was. There's a guy with a camera right behind the home plate ump, C.B. Buckner. Leiter missed away, a ball and a strike. One to McGwire. Pop foul, that'll reach the seats.
August 25th, 1986. Mark McGwire with his first major league home run. Look at the size of him here. It goes to center field. That's off of the Tigers and Chet Lemon, the center fielder. And that was McGwire in 86. Now, here in 98, he is immense.
Pop foul again behind the plate.
You know, when you look at the two different swings, when he was younger, he wasn't as bulky. And when he followed through, he held the bat with both hands. But as a member of the Cardinals, you see him many times, because he's so bulky, he's not able to hold that bat going through, but obviously didn't affect his power. He
right
releases
now,
that bat.
His forearms are 17.5 inches. Forearms. His biceps are 20 inches. They're as big as most people's legs. This guy has really bulked up.
Now the count's full. And the crowd groans whenever a pitcher falls behind McGwire in fear of seeing him walk.
I think we all like to see him hit one. Everybody wants to see McGwire hit a long home run.
I think there are a bunch of people watching who are Met fans who might dispute that notion right about now.
I think as long as the Mets win, they wouldn't mind seeing McGwire hit one.
Got him again. On the outside corner, Leiter gets McGwire for the second time tonight.
He has now struck out 107 times.
And he's talking to himself, walking back to the dugout.
Did he just guess wrong here? Is he looking something dead red, and it looked like Leiter took something off that pitch at the outside corner?
He might have thought that ball was going to be outside, but those are the things that happen. And he throws a fastball that is just on the outside corner. Good strike zone for the umpire, and for the Mets, C.B. Buckner, the umpire, behind home plate.
And a little less oxygen in the lungs temporarily for Al Leiter, who exhaled. A lot of pitchers wait to exhale when it's McGwire. And Brian Jordan goes after the first pitch, and all Ordonez has to do is wait. And that's the second out here in the 6th inning.
I think the fascination with McGwire is not only the number of home runs, but how far he hits the home run.
No question about that.
I mean,
Babe Ruth, all the long home runs are what you look for.
Look at Sammy Sosa, trailing McGwire by 2 home runs. And, you know, he's getting the applause in Chicago, but McGwire is followed by everybody throughout the country because of how far he hits them.
Ron Gant to Ordonez. And the side retired. Leiter has retired 7 in a row now as he gets the Cardinals in order, including McGwire looking to start the inning. Ralph Kiner rejoins us tomorrow night. 6 in the books.
It's the story we're all a part of.
Our state is blessed.
It's about who we are, where we're going, and the friends we make along the way.
Okay, I was going to ask you straight up.
It's about time for News 12 New Jersey, the 24-hour news network dedicated to the Garden State, dedicated to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mizar Tourdieu.
And I'm Frank Cipolla. Welcome to the Morning Edition. News 12 New Jersey. Watch it now on Cablevision Channel 3.
Does the sun send you into hiding? Then face the day with Lumar window film. When this high-tech film bonds to your windows, it helps block heat, protect furniture from fading, and cut cooling costs. So stop shutting the sun out with Lumar, the clear answer.
For further information, call Garden State Window Tinting, 1-800-479-8468.
You know how it feels when you're involved in an accident, the stress and confusion of what to do, like calling your insurance, getting towed, the repairs, and you'll need a rental car. It's enough to make your head spin. But don't worry. Mazzaro & Son Auto Body does it all. They'll tow your car, contact your insurance, rent you a car, and attend to any repairs. For 50 years, Mazzaro & Son has been the customer's choice by returning your car in A1 condition as quickly as possible. Remember, it's your choice. Choose Mazzaro & Son.
On August 5th, 1998.
Gets that curveball hard to over to second. They go to second for one, back to first. It's on the plate. Got a triple play. How about that? Mets triple play.
The Dunbar family of Floral Park, New York, has made the trip to St. Louis to cheer on their favorite team. Catherine, Kevin, and Jim are here. And Jim, I know you're a big Mets fan. You think they got a shot at that wild card spot?
Yeah, but they got to win a lot of games, get ahead of the Cubs, because, like, they got to win.
Absolutely, they got to win. You think they're going to do it, though?
Yeah, they got to do it.
Now, another reason you're here is to see Big Mac, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think he's going to get one?
He might, you know, but we got him twice looking.
All right, that's right. Jim knows where it's at, fellas. They got him twice looking.
And Jim didn't need a scorecard for that. He's paying attention and seeing a pretty good one. 4-2 New York as we go to the 7th. Phillips 0 for 3 tonight. Robbed his last time up by Ray Lankford. Missed inside 2-0. Top of the order for New York, Phillips, Edgardo Alfonso, and John Olerud. And will Olerud have any chances after this upcoming plate appearance? Remember, John still on a 23-game hitting streak, one short of the team record.
He's hit the ball hard twice in this ball game.
Thought he might have had the last one, a fly ball to the warning track in left field, which Ron Gant caught just about up against the wall. There's John in the hole. Three and one now to Phillips. Morris in all the way. Mets scoring 2 in the first. 2-run double by Piazza. 2-run homer by Hundley in the third. And that's hit in the air to straightaway center. Lankford lines it up. 1 out in the New York 7th. Make sure to stay tuned after this game for Fox Sports News on Fox Sports New York. Catch you up with all the stories in sports, plus the scores and highlights you need as well. Fox Sports News on Fox Sports New York. Good night so far for Edgardo Alfonso. Doubled and scored in the first. Singled in the fourth. Infield single. Lays off a fastball. That's hit hard to left field, and Gant has to play it on a hop. 3 hits tonight for Edgardo Alfonso, and John Olerud's coming up. Let's see what else is coming up here on Fox Sports New York. Tomorrow night, Mets, Hundley, Cardinals, McGwire, 8 o'clock here on Fox Sports New York. And then on Wednesday, these teams conclude the 3-game series. Mets and Cardinals, another 8 p.m. start, all live and coming your way this week on Fox Sports New York. So make sure to check your local listings. Well, this could be it for John Olerud, depending how the rest of this game plays out. Olerud on a 23-game hitting streak, but he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Up the middle. That's going to kill the hitting streak, and the double play ends the inning. It could kill the hitting streak if Olerud does not come up again. So the double play started by Ordaz. No runs, a hit, nobody left. And it's time to stretch in St. Louis. The Mets with a 4-2 lead.
Hello? Susan, it's Fred.
Hi.
Are we still on for tonight?
Indeed. I have reservations at Chez Joseph.
Really? That place is always booked.
Well, Shay's a personal friend of mine. Pick you up at 7.
Okay. So, do you look as good as you sound?
OmniPoint, 100% digital, 0% hassle. Get $179 Ericsson 388, the latest in digital wireless, for $49.
To reduce your bill, call Geico Direct. Unless you believe in the car insurance fairy. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At Geico, we settle claims quickly so you can get your car back, because no one likes to bum a ride to work. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Winners are like snowflakes, each one different from the next. Like Carol O'Rourke from Rochester. She just won Win for Life. Winners are special people. I guess that makes me a special people person.
We have a winner!
New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by Discover Card. It pays to discover, accepted where you see the Novus sign. This is one of the most successful franchises in baseball history. St. Louis Cardinals have won 9 world championships along with 6 National League flags. That's a nice pavilion that they've established in the upper deck and left center field, honoring all of the world championship Cardinal teams. Al Leiter of the Mets up by 2 as we go to the last of the 7th. The catcher Tom Pagnozzi takes on the inside corner. Remember, he was called out when he looked at a pitch on the outside corner. And so he's still shaking his head at the strike zone of C.B. Buckner. A little bit more quiet about it, though, than he was last time. Pops that one straight back foul. So quickly, Leiter ahead 0-2.
He was quiet because it was only the first strike and not the third. You know, you were talking about it earlier, how you got to be careful because you're going to go out to catch. You're absolutely correct. Problem is, you also want to be known as a pretty good hitter. So if you feel you've been ripped off, you don't think about what's going to happen when you go out on defense.
They want it away. That's where it is, but it's off the plate. And even Pagnozzi knows that couldn't have been a strike.
Caught Pagnozzi looking back. When you see a hitter look back, it's for location. Yep, there it is. Wanted to see where Mike Piazza was going.
Reaches out to protect the plate. Still 1-2.
Probably peaked again. More so today than ever before, catchers move on the corners, and I like that because the pitcher has confidence to throw the ball in the corner. The only dilemma you have is your tipping location. There's no way around it.
I was amazed to hear Keith Hernandez's story last week about the Mike Scioscia home run against Doc Gooden in the playoffs in '88.
Manny Mota?
Yeah, we'd never heard this before.
Well, a lot of times that goes on the field. If you get a coach and you see a catcher move and the coach whistles, and that means the catcher's moved inside, I mean, that can really help a hitter.
So Mota whistled, Scioscia swung, and the Dodgers wound up winning a key playoff game in 1988. Full count now to Pagnozzi.
I mean, it's easier to steal location than it is the signs of the catcher. And stealing location is very helpful to a hitter.
So it's full to Pagnozzi leading off the Cardinal 7th. And a liner fair down the right field line. Pagnozzi on his way to second. The carom played by Phillips. And it's a leadoff double for Tom Pagnozzi. Ball got loose on the infield, which is why you saw Pagnozzi take an extra couple of steps towards third. Viagra didn't handle the relay throw cleanly.
I'll guarantee you somebody will tell Al Leiter or Mike Piazza. Now, he did not peak here, but we've seen him peak. But somebody's going to tell these guys that Pagnozzi was peaking. He had a nice swing there. Just concentrated on seeing the ball and hitting the ball hard. He picks up a double. problems hitters have now if they're peaking. You got to hope the game's not on TV, and if it is, you hope the director doesn't catch you doing it, because that's cause for conversation the next day in the clubhouse.
Fernando Tatis, the number 7 hitter in the order. Remember, the pitcher is due up next, but Matt Morris will not hit in this inning. Ball 1 to Tatis.
They might have John Moore, director in the clubhouse tomorrow, having a conversation. Who else peaks?
That catches the inside corner. So Leiter gets the breaking ball over, and some help now getting ready in the Mets pen. Dennis Cook, the left-hander, and Turk Wendell, the right-hander. Wendell starting to get more important work. Close games, late in games. Pagnozzi leads from second.
Whoa.
And a liner that Leiter grabs. Not in time to get the double play, but Al Leiter, showing goaltending reflexes, robs Tatis.
Great play by Leiter. That's got to be a base hit. That ball was scorched, and Leiter's reaction was terrific.
Did you read his lips? He said, "I didn't see it."
If he saw it, he'd probably ducked. This is a great reaction by Leiter. Bang! Nice play. No wonder he didn't see it. He was ducking.
He did not see it.
Now watch this throw to second base. You saw a body diving into second base and Baerga's body diving towards the pitcher. This ball is hammered. And Leiter ducking, makes the grab, goes to second. Pagnozzi diving one way, Baerga diving the other. This is one reason I wouldn't want to be a pitcher. Wow. Tatis said, "Are you kidding me?" He said he wasn't even looking, and he caught the ball. This is what you call, I'm going to get out of the way, but I'm going to put my glove up, and I hope I catch it. Watch his head. Boom. Nice play by Leiter. And he tried to double Pagnozzi off second base.
So with 1 out, that brings up the number 8 hitter, the pitcher's spot. And it's John Mabry who will pinch hit for Matt Morris. So Morris out of the game.
Mabry with a big home run against the Cubs this weekend.
Yeah, that was the game-winning home run yesterday. Came in the 6th inning as a pinch hitter. Cardinals winning that game 2-1 from the Cubs. And back to second just barely is Pagnozzi.
You know, as tough as Leiter is on left-handers, Tony La Russa either has a lot of, here's Pagnozzi diving back into second base ahead of the tag. Tony La Russa has either a lot of confidence in John Mabry, and he sends him up against Al Leiter, or he doesn't like him. One or the other.
Nothing in 1 to Mabry. Guess he doesn't like him.
Well, it's been documented how difficult Leiter is on left-handers. Mabry's sitting in the dugout figuring there's no way they're going to call upon me to face Leiter.
Now he's 1 for 3 against him, but with that swing, you wonder what that hit was all about. One of those home runs as a pinch hitter came yesterday.
Well, he showed him. He said, "I hit a home run for you. I helped the club out. What do you do to me? You put me up against Al Leiter." See if Leiter throws him that slider. Yep.
They'll check the swing. So 1 and 2 as Mabry gets a life.
Not a long one if he throws him another slider.
Why would you throw anything else in this situation the way he's looked so far?
If you ever threw him a fastball up and in and then a slider. There's the heater. The heater was in. Now we'll see if they go back away with the slider. Mike Piazza calling a fine ball game. And again.
Handcuffed him. Again, they'll check. Nothing doing again, according to Charlie Relaford.
Well, Mabry and the first 2 swings had real bad swings at the ball away. You know, his first reaction is, "I'm getting out of here." There's the slider away.
So he held up, and now it's a full count. The Leiter was ahead 0-2. After Mabry, he has the shortstop and the number 9 hitter, Luis Ordaz, making Mabry especially important. So the payoff pitch fouled away.
Yeah, pretty good swing there. He knows that Leiter wants to get him out, as opposed to facing the right-hander with runners on first and second. So Leiter has to throw him that fastball.
And the payoff pitch. Mabry hanging in.
Yeah, he's having better swings now. It's his count. It's a hitter's count, 3-2 under the circumstances.
Pagnozzi, a slow runner at second. Mabry also a slow runner, the hitter. Got him.
Got him to chase a bad breaking ball.
6 strikeouts now for Al Leiter, 2 men away, and Ordaz is going to be called back. So Tony La Russa lifting his pitcher, also making a move to the bench now. And Eli Marrero, a catcher by trade, will be the pinch hitter.
Well, 3-2, and Leiter goes with the breaking ball. Mabry unable to lay off it. And Mabry'd rather be someplace else right there. Leiter has that stuff that makes hitters uncomfortable, right-handers and left-handers, more so left-handers. He's one of those pitchers that will make a manager change his everyday lineup and load up with right-handed hitters.
Now he'll go after Eli Marrero, batting for Luis Ordaz. Bobby Valentine has pitchers ready in the bullpen. We showed you Cook and Wendell throwing before. And Mabry striking out as the pinch hitter.
That's a guy you get a pat on the shoulder and say, forget it. Don't worry about it.
And Marrero takes it at the knees for a strike. Eli Marrero, a pretty encouraging story, uplifting story. In spring training, they found out that he had thyroid cancer. Missed the beginning of the season, underwent treatments, had a big home run over the weekend in a phenomenal game Saturday, which the Cardinals won in extra innings against the Cubs.
Cardinals feel he's the catcher of the future. They were hoping he would take over this year every day. He's had some nice years in the minor leagues, ready for the big leagues. And when he went through those treatments for cancer, he said, I'll be back during this season. And he made it back.
Pagnozzi, the catcher for the time being, leads from second. 0-2 to Marrero. Off the plate with a fastball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Eli Marrero. That's with a 4-2 lead. This is the first of a 3-game series. Remember, the Cardinals have won 5 in a row. And Leiter deal off the plate, which is where Piazza wanted it. So the count even now.
But Leiter is strong because he throws a lot of pitches every start.
And basically, he's been a 7-inning pitcher this season.
Well, Bobby Valentine has monitored the pitches along with Bob Apodaca. And when he gets into the danger zone, they pull him out.
This will be a 2-2 pitch. Rip foul. Even though Leiter on average will get you about 7 innings, he has thrown 3 complete games for Bobby Valentine so far this year. His last one, a 2-0 shutout over the Expos on the 16th of June.
He wants to talk to Mike Piazza. Now we've seen Al Leiter talking to the catcher in the dugout a lot, and he is usually controlling the conversation. He just told Mike Piazza what he wanted to throw. Now Mike has to go back and give the signs so the infielders can see it. Bobby Valentine talking to the pitching coach Bob Apodaca. The reason those signs are being flashed now is for the infielders because Al Leiter knows what Piazza's going to call.
Outside, full count. Pat Kelly, the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals, is on deck. Leiter up over 120 pitches now. on a hot, humid night here in St. Louis. Remember, Pagnozzi is a slow runner at second base, so a base hit to the outfield does not necessarily mean a run. But it doesn't matter. Marrero goes down on strikes. 7 strikeouts for Leiter. So again, Bobby Valentine has to like what he's seen. Leiter helping himself. He gave up a leadoff double to Pagnozzi, but then incoming, and he recovered and almost doubled the runner-up. Tatis thought he had a base hit.
Pitches.
And some changes for the Cardinals defensively as we go to the 8th inning. John Mabry, who struck out as a pinch hitter, stays on to play third base. Fernando Tatis moves over from third to play shortstop. And the new pitcher is 28-year-old Rick Kraushaw. He actually has had some opportunities to close games, as you can see by his save count, but lately he struggled in that department. Blew a save over the weekend. He's now blown 3 saves in his last 4 opportunities. So his first batter, Mike Piazza. Middle of the order for the Mets here in the 8th inning. Piazza, Hundley, and McRae. Piazza doubled in 2 runs in the first inning. He's 1 for 3. On the ground to short, Tatis up with it. 1 man away.
Well, right there, Piazza hit right on top of that ball to short. Todd Hundley did not hit on top of a ball. Earlier in the game, he got under a ball and crushed it. He impressed the folks here in St. Louis. They're used to McGwire-type home runs. Here's one. This is our Dodge drive of the game, and that ball landed in the luxury suites here at Busch Stadium. So our Dodge drive of the game impressed everybody in New York. I'm not so sure it impressed the folks here in St. Louis. But Howie Rhodes is of the mindset he doesn't want to see Ruth's, or I should say Maris's record broken.
You know, I've got an emotional attachment to that record.
Did you know Roger?
What's that?
Did you know Roger?
No, but you know what? He was my
Babe?
first. No, but Lenny Harris hits one deep to right center, chasing Langford back, but again, Ray Langford covers the ground. He is a graceful defensive center fielder. Not to mention what he could do with his bat. 2 outs, nobody on now, and McRae coming up.
Harris hits his ball hard, but Langford chases it down. Langford, an outstanding defensive center fielder, also having a good year offensively, and he makes that look easy. He's made some nice catches in this game tonight.
McRae takes a fastball, as long as you bring it up. In 1961, the year before the Mets came into existence, was the year my father introduced me to baseball. And what a year to be introduced, right?
Yeah.
As a 7-year-old with Maris, Mantle chasing Babe Ruth. So I've got an emotional attachment to that record. And if it's broken, fine. I just hope it happens in the last week of the season under dramatic circumstances. Maybe McGwire takes it down to the last day. Either way, it's been so good for baseball.
It has brought baseball's popularity back. It's just been, I mean, the atmosphere here in St. Louis and really around the country. Keep in mind, he'll be in New York for 4 games next week.
2-1 to McRae.
And Howie's one of Howie's favorite players. And there's Roger and me coming into today, 109 games.
McRae goes up the middle. Kelly in the outfield. Can't get him. Even with that double clutch, it's unlikely he would have thrown McRae out. So Brian McRae has 2 for 4.
It's really something how people in this country are mesmerized by the home run ball, and I'm one of them. Look at that graphic. RBIs, home runs, 61-46. And the one thing Mark McGwire can do better than anybody probably who ever played the game, hit the ball a long way. Look at where he hit a ball here at Busch Stadium. And there's a Band-Aid.
That is 545 feet away from home plate. Did it against the Marlins on the 16th of May. Longest measured home run in the history of this ballpark. Carlos Baerga taps it to the right side. Kelly throws him out, and the side's retired. So no runs, 1 hit. And McGwire will hit third in the 8th inning. Still 4-2 New York.
The thing that stands out about that guy right there, more so than anybody, is how far he hits him. And we showed you the Band-Aid. That's a great. How big is that Band-Aid?
545 feet away from home plate, probably another 20 feet high. That's more than, what'd you say? 20, 30 feet maybe, 20 feet anyhow.
It's got to be the biggest Band-Aid in the world.
Well, Dennis Cook won't have any bleeding to stop because Al Leiter did an outstanding job through 7 innings, allowing only 4 hits and 2 first-inning runs. Leiter struck out 7. And so Dennis Cook on to face the top of the Cardinals batting order. Pat Kelly, Ray Lankford, and then Mark McGwire. And the first pitch to Kelly hits the inside corner.
Threw him a straight change, probably practicing for McGwire.
That missed away. 1 ball, 1 strike. In case you joined us late, the Mets announced that they've made a deal with the Kansas City Royals. Jermaine Allensworth, speedy center fielder, now a New York Met. That got home plate up C.B. Buckner. Went from Piazza to Buckner, and C.B. got the worst of it. A little more on that Jermaine Allensworth deal. You'll remember the Pirates traded Allensworth to the Kansas City Royals.
Right off the right shoulder. Rumor had it early in the year that the Mets were interested in Allensworth. So when he was with the Pirates, so they finally got him.
And it was more or less a low-level minor leaguer that went to the Pirates as payment for Jermaine Allensworth. The player to be named later, going from New York to Kansas City, must be named by the 1st of October. But when Allensworth gets here tomorrow, the Mets are going to have to take somebody off the roster. And the 1-2 pitch just missed. Count even on Kelly. So Bobby Valentine will have a little more speed in case he wants to run, say, for John Olerud late in the game.
I don't think there's a substitute for speed, because that's a constant. You can count on it every time you come to the park if you have a player who has real good foot speed. Hitting is not a constant.
Allensworth was not hitting in Kansas City. This will be a 2-2 to Kelly. And he just gets a piece. Did he get another piece of Buckner? So CB might stand for count the bruises by the time this at-bat's over with.
So Dennis Cook with that fastball. Ball fouled off. I don't think it got him. Did it get him?
I think it nicked his forearm.
I believe that Piazza turned around and asked him. CB said, don't worry. Well, he did get hit. Well, no, he got hit in the shoulder before. Remember the right shoulder? Still trying to shake it off. Maybe that grazed him.
2-2 to Kelly, leading off the 8th. First batter for Dennis Cook. Popped up a foul ball right above our broadcast position. So Kelly making Cook work. Although so far the home plate ump has gotten the worst of the deal. Buckner hanging in. We'll have this entire series for you here on Fox Sports New York. Bobby Jones faces Kent Mercker tomorrow. Merker's won his last 3 for the Cardinals. Cardinals started play off of that 5-game winning streak, 7 games back in the wild card. But they've also got 6 teams in front of them. Cardinals and Phillies tied 4 games under 500, 7 games behind the Cubs. And the 2-2 to Kelly. Popped up behind the plate. Piazza hoping for a play, but that too will reach the seats. So Kelly having a good at-bat here. Count stays even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In all likelihood, Delino DeShields will be in the leadoff spot and playing second base tomorrow night.
He was activated tonight, but La Russa decided not to use him.
Especially with left-hander Al Leiter on the mound and DeShields a left-hand batter. So he throws Mabry in there as a pinch hitter.
You know where you stand with him. Thanks, Tony.
And the 2-2 pitch lays off.
Years ago, they used to call that being guillotined. When you ended up, if you were a left-handed hitter, you were sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden, the manager said, go on up and pinch hit. And you had to face Al Leiter. Or if you were right-handed, you had to pinch hit against Nolan Ryan. That was called guillotined.
Marie Antoinette. So it'll be a payoff pitch to Kelly. And he continues to make Cook work. Kelly's fouled off probably a half dozen pitches. Dennis Cook having some trouble with the first batter he faces here. Langford and then McGwire for the Cardinals here in the 8th inning. Again, a payoff pitch. And did Kelly hold up? He
Big break right there for the Mets. Kelly, the leadoff hitter, here in the 8th inning, unable to check his swing.
Well, Kelly thought he had ball 4 and a well-earned walk, but C.B. Buckner looked for help.
Yeah, it was a good at-bat, but Kelly was unable to check his swing. Very good at-bat by Pat Kelly. Ball out of the strike zone. But it's so tempting when that ball is there. And see where he finishes with his bat. Let me do it on a telestrator here. There it is.
So an invisible strike zone.
Yeah, no telestrator.
Cook wins the battle with Kelly. Now he's got Langford, who drove in a run with a first-inning double. Challenged him, 0-1. With McGwire on deck and the Mets leading by 2, Langford becomes a very important hitter for Dennis Cook. And now he's in front, no balls, 2 strikes. You keep Langford off base here. McGwire can hit one 565 feet. It would only pull the Cardinals to within a run.
What an imposing figure.
That's the story of baseball this year, standing in the on-deck circle. What a great story with all the strife a few years ago for McGwire, as well as Sosa and Griffey to go mano-a-mano. You know, don't forget about Greg Vaughn either, is still in the mix.
What's he got, about 38 home runs?
Vaughn having an outstanding season for the San Diego Padres. That's fouled away. Ray Langford, key to our Coors Light play of the day. He's done it with his bat, but also with his glove.
Yeah, he's made some nice catches in his ball game. There's one. He makes an identical catch later on in the game, robbing Ray Ordonez of a base hit. So our Coors Light plays of the day, Ray Langford.
And the 1-2 delivery. Came inside on him, and Langford fouled it off. Langford's name also came up in trade rumors earlier this year when the Cardinals struggled, as they did out of the chute. They got off to a very difficult start. And the 1-2 pitch off the outer edge. So Cook's got him both times he's faced him. And he's even here, 2-2. Line towards the gap. A base hit cut off, though, by Harris in left field. And Ray Langford, a big hit for the Cardinals, because now Mark McGwire represents the tying run at the plate.
And Bob Apodaca coming out of the Mets dugout. They're going to the bullpen. McGwire's not going to face a left-hander. It's amazing the reaction a home run hitter gets. I mean, there wasn't even a doubt. Boom, out of the dugout, bring the right-hander in to face McGwire.
So Dennis Cook upset, giving up that 2-strike hit to Langford. And now Turk Wendell will answer this on-the-point call to the bullpen, with the Mets leading by 2, 1 out, 1 on, and McGwire coming up.
It's a great sign right there. Especially 25, who's batting now.
And he's sitting on 47. He's got 46 home runs now. He has struck out twice, walked once tonight. Turk Wendell out of the bullpen to face McGwire. And the first pitch, a slider.
Great story about McGwire when he was with the Oakland A's his rookie year. We showed a shot of him hitting his first home run. He hit 49.
Look at the outfield as well as the shift on the infield. That's Baerga, the second baseman, near the bag. Look how deep all three outfielders are against McGwire. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mark.
Looked like a backup slider right there. Might have caught the plate.
Remember now, for example, Brian McRae, the Mets center fielder, normally plays fairly shallow. Look how close he is to the warning track. That's a guy who plays a shallow center field normally. Oh. Did he go around? He did, says C.B. Buckner, and so Wendell ahead 1-2. Of course, the Mets don't want to allow a base hit here, but they'll gladly allow, if McGwire is going to get a base hit, McGwire to dunk one into the outfield rather than drive one either over the wall or over one of the outfielders' heads. McGwire is not fast, so you can keep him at first base. Remember, he's the tying run.
He just took a hanging breaking ball again.
High slider from Wendell. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McGwire's only seen Wendell twice. He's 0 for 2 against him. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball got him. Wendell strikes out McGwire, and Mark McGwire has struck out 3 times tonight. Leiter got him looking twice. Now Wendell gets him swinging. 2 men away.
Well, they made the pitching change. They brought Wendell in to pitch for Cook. There's a slider. Now, that's a nasty slider right there. That's a backup slider that missed. A hanging slider right there. Another hanger. And a good slider, and struck McGwire out. All breaking balls. And I'm sure he's second guessing himself in the dugout about taking the hanging breaking ball, even though it was called a ball.
Wendell's not out of trouble yet. Brian Jordan, the batter now.
You could see where a pitcher, after striking out McGwire, would tend to go, I'm out of trouble, and then get hammered.
And they'll pay a little more attention to Langford here, even though Brian Jordan, representing the tying run, is the hitter. And Jordan's a power hitter as well. Jordan has 17 homers, drove in a run tonight to give him 68. But Langford can run. With McGwire representing the tying run, you don't worry about the runner at first in a 2-run game.
That's one of those deals where he's going to hang around first base. You're going to see if McGwire can hit the thing 500 feet. But it's been a tough night with the bat for Mark McGwire.
Langford has 15 stolen bases, and that's pulled foul deep down the left field line.
Even McGwire's BP tonight, although he hit a couple balls out, we've seen him just be absolutely amazing in batting practice. So if you can get out to Shea Stadium when the Cardinals come in and watch BP, it's quite a sight.
McGwire 46, Sosa 44, Griffey 41. Valentine could care less. He needs an out here. Langford's running, and the ball gets all the way to the screen past Piazza. Langford thought about third base, but with 2 outs, will stay on second. So Ray Langford on at second base.
And the last pitch.
Got a cross up the way he reached for that?
Well, you know, I thought the way he was shaking his head, he was crossed up. But, yeah, he went out to talk to Wendell. And the runner taken out to second base and then rounding second base, and then Langford had to get back. Yeah, it's a hustle after the ball. He went out to talk to Wendell, so he was probably crossed up. If he wasn't crossed up, the ball should have been caught.
Usually he'd turn his glove on a ball in the dirt like that, wouldn't he?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. That's the old-fashioned way. Now they stab at it.
Even the balls in the dirt. I know you've shown that a lot as opposed to the old-fashioned. Of course, he never caught with those cereal bowl gloves.
No.
2 balls, 1 strike. And that's fouled back this way. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Jordan.
You're taught when the ball's in the dirt to turn the glove the other way and get your body in front of it. And the glove really is out there. You're hoping to knock the ball down if it's in the dirt with your glove or your body. But it looked like Mike Piazza was caught by surprise on that pitch from Turk Wendell. Last thing you want to do is be crossed up. That's why you got to keep the sign simple.
The scoring on that play, of course, is stolen base. So the 2-2 pitch. Jordan, fly ball right at Brian McGwire. And the side retired. So no runs a hit, one left. We're going to go to the ninth inning. Wendell's done his job. The fans here in St. Louis thought they'd catch a home run, but this was a pretty picture to Turk Wendell and the New York Mets. And they'll take a 2-run lead into the ninth. This place was pretty much packed, but Mark McGwire hit and struck out in the last of the 8th inning. Fans stuck around to see if the Cardinals would rally. But now that McGwire and the Cardinals are done in the 8th, they're leaving Busch Stadium. It's only a 2-run lead.
I was told that happened a lot in Pittsburgh when Ralph Kiner played for the Pirates. And after his last at bat, Forbes Field would empty out. Same thing happening here at Busch Stadium. And this is still a close game.
Ordonez rolls it to the shortstop, Tatis. That's the first out here in the 9th inning. 4-2 New York. First of a 3-game series. As the road trip continues this week, a look at our Delta Airlines upcoming schedule shows you that we'll have both games here in St. Louis following tonight. And then the Mets get their first look, Fran, at the Bob Bank One ballpark in Phoenix.
Man, looking forward to going out there. They say it's a beautiful ballpark and they fill it up.
About 106, 107 degrees in Phoenix this week.
Just the way we like it.
Leave the overcoats home. So Matt Franco will be a pinch hitter, and Brian McGwire, who doesn't figure to hit in this inning unless the Mets rally, decides to conserve his energy. That's not the dugout. That's the Mets bullpen. That's how hot and humid it is here in St. Louis tonight. So McGwire, the Mets center fielder, hanging out in the bullpen so he doesn't have to come all the way into the dugout.
Brian should be used to that weather. He watched his dad play ball not far from here in Kansas City.
1-1 to the pinch hitter, Matt Franco. That's a strike, 1-2. And the Mets need a base hit here if they are to get John Olerud another at bat and give him a shot at extending his hitting streak to a club record tying 24. Softly hit. Back Kelly, a wide throw. McGwire holds the bag. 2 men away. Mets going to need 2 hits here, or 2 base runners anyway. It was 1984 when Hubie Brooks set the record off of Joaquin Andujar and the Cardinals. A bouncer past Ozzie Smith, and for Hubie, a 24-game hitting streak. Now that set the Met record because the old streak was 23. Mike Vail and Cleon Jones had hit in 23 straight games, and it looks like Olerud may wind up stuck on 23 unless Tony Phillips here and then Alfonso after him can get on base. Olerud 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. So John Olerud always wears a batting helmet. We don't know how optimistic he is right here. He's got to be optimistic. Of course, the Mets need 2 base runners to get John an at bat. He's got the flap helmet.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got the flap head, so he's optimistic.
Of course, John is the exception to the rule. When you see a player in the dugout, you ordinarily assume if he's wearing the batting helmet that he's going to be up sooner or later in that inning. But remember, John wears it in the field and in the dugout at all times. Wear the helmet in the field that does not feature the flap. And Phillips down on strikes. So at this point, John Olerud hopes that he doesn't break the record, or at least tie it tonight, because the Mets are going to take a 2-run lead into the bottom half of the 9th inning. The Mets go in order in the top half. And now New York will try and protect the lead.
Sizzler presents Invasion of the Giant Crabs. They're huge, a full pound. But they have one weakness. The Giant Crab Feast, just $8.99, now appearing at Sizzler.
We interrupt this program to bring you the following message. No one duplicates color better than we do. MCS Canon.
Attention, kids. As you know, someday you will rule the world. To prepare, you will need school supplies from Office Depot. Glue, pencils, rulers, backpacks. Some children will shop at other stores, spending more and getting less. They will grow up to be your feeble-minded servants.
Office Depot, official school supply headquarters of the National PTA. More stuff, cooler stuff, guaranteed low prices on over 1,000 back-to-school items.
That is all you need to know. Go rule the world.
When it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. National gets you in your car and on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? National Car Rental. Let's go.
Stay tuned to Fox Sports New York following the Mets and Cardinals. Fox Sports News brings you the latest on Pat LaFontaine's future with the New York Rangers, the home run chase in the major leagues, and the latest controversy surrounding Michael Irvin of the Dallas Cowboys. It's all coming up right after the Mets and the Cardinals here on Fox Sports New York. And the veteran, somewhat ageless, Willie McGee will hit in this inning.
Might be, if not the most popular player in recent years here in St. Louis, one of the most popular. He was supposed to retire the year Ozzie Smith retired, and the Cardinals talked him out of retirement.
But as we go to the last of the ninth inning, John Franco will try and nail it down for the Mets. Franco with 23 saves on the year. Franco saving a couple of games over the weekend, Friday and Saturday, against the Rockies in Denver. So Franco will go after Ron Gant, who is 0 for 3. He's got McGee on deck to hit for Pagnozzi. Tony La Russa does, as Gant swings and misses. Gant has had some success against Franco before. .216 on the season. Camouflages what he's done against Franco. 5 out of 13, including a home run. Fouls that pitch off, and so advantage Franco, 0-2.
Gant, a guy who loves that fastball. We'll see if John Franco takes number 5 and throws him an off-speed pitch. He throws that dead fish in the dirt. But against Franco, he's been successful.
One and two. Gant, McGee on deck, and then Fernando Tatis scheduled for the Cardinals. We have a 5-game winning streak on the line. Giants lead the Cubs 1-0 last of the second inning in San Francisco. Gant reaching out, serves it to right field, and Tony Phillips gets there. One man away. Of course, part of the fun tonight was watching Al Leiter go after Mark McGwire. Leiter faced him 3 times, walking him once and catching him looking twice. And tomorrow night on our pregame show, Al Leiter will go over his duel with McGwire pitch by pitch. Make sure to stay tuned tomorrow. I don't think McGwire has gotten his mind off of that last at-bat, or maybe his whole body of work tonight yet.
Yeah, the last at bat against Turk Window, the slider, and slider. And he took one hanging slider that when Mark McGwire was swinging the bat real well, he would have hit that 600 feet.
Willie McGee, first ball hitting. Deep right field, but playable for Phillips. McGee retired, and the Mets are an out away from a series opening win.
And out in San Francisco, they played 2 innings, the Cubs and the Giants are up 1-0.
Remember, if the Mets hold on here and the Giants beat the Cubs, the Mets would go to sleep tonight in the wild card spot in the National League.
Now it's bottom of the 3rd, and they're all tied at 1, the Giants and the Cubs.
Bobby Valentine starting play a game and a half ahead of the Giants. So the Mets will gain a game if they hold on here against one of those teams. Ball 1 to Fernando Tatis. Tatis 1 for 2. Has a right to feel he should be 2 for 2. Drove one right back at Al Leiter his last time up, and Leiter, ducking, got his glove up and grabbed the ball.
Then said, I didn't see it.
Self-preservation on Leiter's part. Franco's gotten 2 fly ball outs to start the 9th inning. One and one now. Todd Hundley, the decisive blow so far with his first home run of the year, breaking a 2-2 tie.
Boy, that's worth another look. You're going to see that a lot tonight. He crushed it.
Change low, 2-1. Don't forget the work of Turk Wendell either. Of course, Todd's going to be smiling about that home run all night, but Wendell faced McGwire as the tying run, 1 out in the 8th inning, struck him out, and then got Brian Jordan, one of the leading hitters in the National League, to fly out. So Wendell getting more responsibility, thriving in the role. That's a strike, 2-2. If the Mets hold on here, Todd Hundley will talk about that home run with Matt Loughlin. Make sure to stay tuned. The smile will stick for a couple of seconds if Franco can get Tatis, but he doesn't. It's a base hit with 2 men out. And the Cardinals have the tying run coming to the plate in John Mabry. Bobby Valentine moving his outfielders back.
And Mike Piazza's reaction to this base hit.
So Mabry takes a fastball for a strike. Mabry, a pinch hitter in the 7th inning against Al Leiter, struck out. Mabry 2 for 4 in his career against Franco. Olerud at first, not holding against the runner. That run means nothing, and it's 0-2 on Mabry. So again, Franco a strike away. It'll be an 0-2 pitch to Mabry, and it's just off the outside corner. So on we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Mabry has seen 2 left-handers tonight, Al Leiter and John Franco. Sure, he's much more comfortable against John. John around the plate, not overpowering.
That just missed, and so the count even. Well, you saw the way Mike Piazza kind of jumped up and grimaced when Franco allowed that hit to Tatis. You know that Piazza wanted to help Franco get through a clean inning, and Hundley thought this pitch might do it. And that'll just cost him a sunflower seed. So it'll be a 2-2 pitch to Mabry, and a soft line drive, put it in the books. The Mets have won the opener of this 3-game series, beating the Cardinals 4-2, and are in position to wake up the wild card team. Of course, there's a long way to go, but the Mets have not been in that position lately, nor has Todd Hundley been in the position to deliver a game-winning home run all year. Now he feels as though he's back. Luis Lopez, one of many Mets, congratulating Hundley on his game-winning home run.
And here's the last out. John Franco throwing to John Mabry, and Mabry gets jammed and loops the ball to Ordonez. For a moment, I thought he was going to misjudge it, but he doesn't misjudge anything. Here's Todd Hundley's reaction, final out of the ball game, and he was very important in this game because he just crushed a fastball into the luxury suites for a home run.
So Franco comes out of the bullpen to pick up save number 24. When we get back, Matt Loughlin will talk to Todd Hundley.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days. Like a 0 down, $319 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $814 due at signing. Or during summer days, take advantage of low 1.9% financing. But you'd better hurry in because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check out this 319 lease at your dealer.
Having fun yet? Then get to the Summer of Fun and nobody beats the Whiz. Buy the fun stuff you want and get more fun stuff, like special offers, tickets to games, Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall with select purchases. See newspaper for details. Nobody beats the Whiz, a Cablevision company.
Mets take the first game of this 3-game series over St. Louis. They win by a score of 4-2. Al Leiter picks up his 11th victory of the season. John Franco comes on in the 9th and picks up the save, and you see that bottom number there, Todd Hundley, with the 1 next to his name after the home run. And Todd, I know you've been waiting a long time for it. No question about that one.
Yeah, Matty, I have been waiting for it. You know, I just had to relax and you know, get in stride. You know, it's been a long time, and finally, boom, I caught one, swung hard, hit hard, got everything behind it, and you know, boom, bottom line is winning ball games, and then right now that's what we got to do.
Well, the combination is nice, though. You get that first home run, and the team does come up with the victory. How much might it relax you now that you've gotten it out of the way?
Well, it does. I mean, it relaxes me. It's really my 3rd home run of the year. I had, you know, two in the minor leagues in my rehab assignment.
Do they count?
Yeah, to me, they count. All right. They count to me, but to other people, they don't. And but to get the first big league home run, yes, it definitely takes pressure off my shoulders, and I know that I'm capable of still hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
And what we also saw in, let me look it up now here. It was in the top half of the 3rd inning, or bottom half of the 3rd, rather, against Ray Langford. A little bit of a line drive that was arcing away from you. Made a nice play on it.
Well, the funny thing about it was I was trying to talk to Ray, yelling to Ray about how lights were going to be, and next thing I know, I look in, and here comes a ball flying at me, and I'm going, oh, my Lord. And I thought it was going to carry to me, but, you know, he hit it good the other way, and it kept on hooking on me. And I just had to get down there with it, and so it caught me kind of by surprise. I was trying to, because of the sky was kind of bluish, and I didn't know how the lights are here, so I was trying to get a hold of Ray, and then bam, there's the ball.
But might not have been a play you would have made, say, game 1 or 2.
No, I wouldn't have. No, a week ago, I wouldn't have made that play. The hard work with Mookie Wilson is definitely paying off, and we're going to keep at it.
All right, one other thing. Is it too early to scoreboard watch, or you just got to worry about yourself?
We got to take it one game at a time and watch the scoreboard at the same time.
That's a beautiful thing.
So yes, it's you know, it's a good time of year. It's always great to be. This is what it's about. Is, you know, winning ball games and being in the race, and so yes, get the job done, and that's the bottom line.
All right, so a beautiful thing for the Mets. They're able to come away with the victory, and they're also able to watch the scoreboard, and they see that San Francisco has an early lead on Chicago. So tomorrow morning, Mets may wake up, fellas, in first place in that wild card spot.
All right, Matt, thanks. Pretty good chance of that because the Mets have won their game 4-2 over the Cardinals. Al Leiter wins it. He's now 11-4. The Mets beating Matt Morris, who drops down to 3-2. Another save for John Franco, 3 in a row now, and Todd Hundley with his first home run of the year. Now, this is, as we speak, the wild card standings, pending the outcome of the Cubs and the Giants. Now, Matty alluded to the Cubs-Giants game just a moment ago. As of this moment, they are in the bottom half of the 3rd inning in San Francisco, and Barry Bonds has hit a 3-run homer. So the Giants have a 5-1 lead now over the Chicago Cubs. If that score stays, the Mets will leap over the Chicago Cubs and be in the wild card spot when tomorrow begins. So the Mets, if they get some help from the Giants, will have that wild card to themselves, beginning at the end, really, of today's business. And we'll be back with you tomorrow night here on Fox Sports New York for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Mets and the Cardinals. Don't forget, Cannon Game Time at 7:30. Al Leiter will have every pitch of his sequence with Mark McGwire. Make sure to stay tuned now for Fox Sports News, coming up right here on Fox Sports New York. Ron Gant made this fella happy early, although the Mets made the Cardinals miserable from the 1st inning. But Ray Langford got Piazza's 2-run double back and flashed his leather as well. but it was Todd Hundley going deep. 77 at-bats without a home run this year. But Todd has reason to smile. His first home run in the National League this year gave Leiter some support, and Leiter was outstanding. 7 strong innings for Leiter. He struck out 7, including McGwire twice. All McGwire could do was take his bat back to the dugout and start thinking about tomorrow. Leiter did his job even when they tried to send a dangerous message his way. So the Mets win it. Fran Healy, Matt Loughlin, and Ralph Kiner. We'll see you tomorrow.
This might be a good time to talk about the Michelin X1. Thanks to Michelin technology, it gives you long mileage and better wet braking than any rain tire. And that should make everyone on a wet road happy.
Michelin, celebrating 100 years of innovation.
I'm so happy, I'm floating on cloud nine. I'm so happy, I'm feeling swell, life is so sublime.
Imagine feeling this good about your car insurance bill.
So gosh darn incredibly happy.
That's happy, baby. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You're the beer man. Playing in pain comes with the territory. But a few nagging injuries won't stop me from delivering cold Coors Light.
Hey, beer man.
95 is what the doctor called pop-top finger. But I kept cracking open that Rocky Mountain refreshment. 96 was a wicked case of beer elbow. But the fans wanted a frost-brewed beer, and they got it. Knock the beer man out of the game? Well, that would take something really serious. Coors Light? Yeah, you want it. Coors Light!
New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers, by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, hey, beer man, and by the 68,000 professionals at Delta Airlines.
Now, tonight's most up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and sports news from coast to coast. This is Fox Sports News Primetime.
We're back! And so are you, and we are so happy about that. Welcome to the Fox Network Center. Jeannie Zalasko, Kevin Frazier working for you. This is Fox Sports News Primetime.
Oh, as always, we are packed full of highlights. Let's just roll out the big boy. Don't waste any time. Let's see what's inside of the Jumbotron. Scott Brosh is looking for a home run, his 3rd straight game for the Yankees. They are simply ridiculous.
In St. Louis, the Mets' Todd Hundley hoping to overshadow Big Mac and the Cards.
And we'll tell you how Michael Irvin's boss is trying to get him out of some hot water with a fellow teammate. Plus, Gary Zimmerman checks out in Denver. John Walsh checks in from the PGA, and we'll also check on the Big Red as they hit camp. But we start at the top with baseball's best. The New York Yankees team, unbelievable, is a ridiculous 42-8 at home. So what in the world could the Twins possibly offer as they rolled into the Bronx today? Actually, there is an interesting sidebar. Bernie Williams entered the night just 1 point behind Minnesota's Todd Walker in the AL batting race.
To a rehab assignment tomorrow.
And how about this? The rich get richer. Chili Davis should be ready to go sometime this week. Bottom of the second, a little luck for the Twins. Derek Jeter takes the bad bounce. Ron Coomer out. Next batter, Yanks get lucky. This time, Jeter strokes an RBI single to left. Marty Cordova plays Matador defense, and Nobby scores all the way from first. That made it 3-0. Bottom of the 4th. Scott Brocious uncorks a blast. The 3rd straight game that he's hit a home run. A 2-run shot, his 13th. New York up 6-0 after 4. Top of the 7th. Hideki Arabu working on a 1-hitter. Watch Hideki. Look at the big boy roll over to first. Gotta like that. Yeah, it was that kind of night. Hideki battles the rain and the Twins, and the Yankees improve to 43-8 at home as they win this one, 7-3 the final score. They are now 56 games over 500 at 85-29 for the first time in 37 years. Arabu improves to 11-5 on the season. After the game, Joe Torre praised Arabu's performance.
His stuff is better, and I think, you know, he's got all his pitches right now, and he's executing. I mean, he pitched a quality. I mean, he can't get much better than the 7 innings he pitched tonight. I'm very amazed at what's going on. You know, I'm not saying we're not capable. Obviously we are, because it's not a fluke. But to have things go our way the way they've been going, and I'm just proud of the way the ball club goes out there every day wanting to win.
I'll tell you what, the Yankees are on pace to decimate the Cubs' 1906 mark of 116 wins. If they do, they can thank the friendly confines of Yankee Stadium, where they still have not lost a series all year long.
They say that idle time is the source of all bad habits. Mark McGwire recently complained that he can't pick his nose without a story being written about it. Mark has way too much idle time. It must be those 26 intentional walks. Mac leads the majors with 121 free passes, already exceeding Roger Maris's total from 61. Cards fans were hoping the Mets' Al Leiter would actually pitch to Mac tonight, and he does, and McGwire jumps all over it. It's deep, but it's just a bit outside, and now McGwire has Leiter really scared. He's just going to stay away from him. Just take the base. Just take it. Top three tied at 2, Mike Piazza. Grounds to Luis Ordaz, who misplays it badly, don't you think? Right off his glove. Now, can you believe they originally ruled that a hit? Home field advantage. Then they woke up. Error. Next pitch, backup catcher Todd Hundley doing what the pizza man couldn't. Deep to right, first home run of the year, 4-2 Mets. Hundley finally smiling in the dugout. Top 6, same score. Ray Ordonez lines to center. Ray Langford says, Ray, not a happy guy. He's got to go back. Bottom 6. The huge forearms of McGwire ready to do some damage. Al Leiter says, take a seat, Big Mac. Your at-bat is over. Bottom 7, Fernando Tatis.
Pagnazzi leads from second.
Smashing one right back at Leiter, but he says, I got it. I'm all over it. Tatis can't believe it. Leiter almost had his head taken off. Bottom 8, McGwire. Here he is again with another shot. He could tie it. But Big Mac goes down swinging. McGwire 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. The Mets win 4-2 the final score. The Mets snap the Cardinals' 5-game winning streak, pick up their 7th win in their last 10 in the process. McGwire 0 for 3, struck out 3 times, walked once. And Mac's numbers are drawing closer and closer to Maris's. It's kind of fun to watch and wonder, you know, what scrutiny Maris had to tolerate. Of course, all his questions were about the great Ruth chase, but he too was set to deflect the questions. No big surprise. More scores for you. At the stick right now, bottom 3, Giants out in front of the Cubs. Both teams looking to snap a 4-game losing streak. As for Sammy, he's 0 for 2, struck out twice on the night.
Our Major League Baseball analyst, Steve Sachs, joins us now. And, Steve, what's going on in Big Mac's head?
Well, I think he's just in a little bit of a rut right now. He hit a home run recently, but still, we're going to show you later on tonight that Mac had several chances to hit a home run tonight, 5 or 6 balls that he usually drives way out of the park. And you can see in his first time up, he had a premier opportunity with the ball inside, got some good wood on this ball. Leiter just puts that ball a little bit too far inside for Mac, don't you think? But he gets a hold of this one and drives it just barely foul. I thought that was fair as it left the park, but, you know, this is just one of those days for Mac. And a little bit later on in the Fox Scope, we're going to give you a chance to see all these other times that Mac just barely missed. And I mean, he just barely missed. But this is an opportunity right here where Mac can sit back and say, hey, I've learned a little bit. I can come back tomorrow. He may hit 2 balls, 3 balls for home runs tomorrow. They're not even in the strike zone. That's the way it's been his whole career, and that's probably what we'll see.
Al Leiter just happy he escaped.
He is. He's very lucky he did, too, especially that first time up.
All right, Steve, thanks.
All right, Steve, we'll talk to you a little bit later.
Yep.
Well, on a recent trip to Disneyland, I braved Space Mountain, but as it turns out, Disney's wildest ride is actually about 5 minutes outside the park, better known as the Anaheim Angels. You know, the club that's sliding down the AL West standings while watching the body count rise on the disabled list. Darren Erstad, Dave Hollins, now officially members of the Walking Wounded. Erstad at a strained left hamstring. Hollins and his inflamed elbow are out of action for 15 days. Halo's getting busy, though, in Detroit, and that's Tim Salmon, the American League Player of the Week, and here's why. He still has it going. Second inning, ground rule double, one of 2 hits on the night for Tim. Later in that same inning, bases loaded for Gary DiSarcina. Rips one to center. Look at this placement. Right up and over Brian Hunter's head. 2-run score. Buddy Bell not even wanting to look at the 4-1 deficit. Meanwhile, Omar Olivares takes care of Bobby Higginson doing his part. The Tigers lose, and the Angels pull to within 1.5 games of idle Texas. Angels pick up just their 4th victory in their last 11 and hand Detroit a 7th straight loss in the process.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is disputing a report in the Dallas Morning News that he helped broker a payoff in the high 6 figures between Michael Irvin and Cowboys guard Everett McGwire to keep the all-star receiver out of jail. According to a source close to the situation, Irvin attacked McGwire with a pair of scissors after the two argued over who was next in line to get a haircut.